All right, guys, welcome back. This is episode
Hello, hello,
5 of
hello.
Gamers versus the System.
Yes, welcome back, and we're at it again,
Yeah,
doing
I'm
our thing.
Spec,
And I'm setting.
and we got a little bit of some correction. First off, Seti, I have a question.
Hmm.
Why did you choose the music for the intro? What was up with that?
Oh, right.
It's a very serious music tone we got going
uh,
on this week.
I don't know. I just felt it was appropriate. I like all kinds of different music, and I was just wanting to switch it up every now and then. Try to get more inclusive and get more, more ideas and more thoughts in people's heads. So yeah, switching it up every now and then isn't a bad thing. That's kind of where I'm coming from.
Okay, all right. I figured there might have been some maybe a theme you were trying to go with, like, oh, since we're gonna be going through these changes. Oh shit, did that make a noise? I hope that didn't make a noise on here. I
I
just
didn't
got
hear
a
anything.
computer. Okay, good. That was just on my end. Perfect. All right. So, anywho, we got that going. So, corrections. I feel like
Corrections.
we need to correct ourselves.
Yeah, this correction is a little bit more like not necessarily a factual correction, but this is more of a I don't know how I want to say it, like a course correction for my attitude. How about that?
Our attitude.
Our attitude.
Let's go with that. I'm not gonna have you take all the blame on this one because
No,
there's some
because
things that I don't know
I
and
feel
that I
like
could get across more clearly.
I feel like the last episode was very aggro, and it was very argumentative, and I didn't really like the direction we were going that day. I mean, I understand we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, and I don't want things to get heated between us. I want it to be gamers versus the system, not Spec versus SETI. So my correction is let's try to be more mindful of at least for me, just trying not to get so in my feelings when things start getting heated or when people disagree. Like that's you were telling me earlier, like it's okay, people are human, but you got to be more mindful. And I think that's a correction that I will be making from now on. Like
Yeah, for
because we're
both of us.
friends. I don't want people thinking that we're like not friends. I mean, I've known you for years. We're cool, and I don't want
Exactly.
things to start
And
like
we've had worse arguments. So it's like
oh, for sure,
that was tame. So I was
for
like, oh, that's nothing.
sure.
I don't give a shit about that.
Honestly,
But
but
other people haven't seen us have those
right,
arguments, so they
right,
might have been like, oh, ooh, a little
and
weird.
that's not what this show is about. So that's kind of that's it's kind of like a course correction for that. Like I want us to just be just more mindful for myself, and I guess you say for you too. But I'm gonna try to keep things on track and just go for it. My cat's biting me. Stop. All right. Anyway, talk
So
about
it makes us
aggro.
human.
Jeez, Louise, what the
It's
hell,
all right.
cat?
Mabel's bitches at me every episode, so your cat could get in there once in a while. It's fine.
That's funny. All right.
And then, all right. So
Uh,
now with that corrections out of the way, we're also going to move on to some changes that are being made, folks. We're going to be firing up the giveaways. So here's
yo.
the thing: we're gonna start giving out right now. It's gonna be a small thing. I think the lowest I could do is $10. So like a $10 gift card for like PlayStation or Xbox, whatever the hell. All you got to do to be eligible to win is you got to be a listener. You got to send us some feedback. So either like give us a D20 recommendation, or send us in an article that you want us to read, or send us in some feedback like what you think. Like just comments, talk shit to us. I don't care. Show us that you're engaging with us. Show us that you're sharing it. Send us the email at gvs.cast@gmail.com, and then I'll put you in on a random number generator type gig, and then we're going to see who wins the $10 gift
Hold
card.
on. There's also one other stipulation.
Okay.
You gotta follow us on Twitter too. Sorry. Like I know that's shameless self promotion once again, but follow us on Twitter. Send us the
All the
email.
socials. Whatever actually your preferred social, whatever you want to use. You know
All
what I
right,
mean? Like
so
it doesn't
follow
have to be
us.
just Twitter.
Send us the email of
Damn,
your
Mabel.
handle so we can, know that you're following us. And yes, then you'll be put into that prize pool. So there's got to be some engagement there. And yeah, we just want to show our appreciation. And it's kind
Show you
of,
guys that we're serious about this whole thing,
oh, for sure. We're not going anywhere. So you might as well just start it now. Start the
right?
craziness, start the fun now.
Yeah, and then you said you're gonna start the Patreon up. You're gonna fire that bad boy.
Yeah, that'll probably be up by the next episode. So
Yeah, we'll have more details for you then, folks. But until then, we also have our first guest on the show today. My
yes,
longtime buddy Goose.
this is wild.
Hey,
Hello,
thanks
Goose.
for having me.
Nice
Thanks.
to
This
meet you.
long time listener.
First time guest, long time listener.
first time caller, long time listener.
That's great.
Well, it's great to have you on, Goose. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Just you could get your thing up there, some projects you're associating with, and
Sure. I don't know
you too, brother.
which. All right. Yeah. I mean, I'll give you the quick, long and short of it. I'm Goose. I got that nickname in college because when I was a sophomore in college, I transferred schools, and I met Spec. I'm gonna have to try real hard not to say your real name, by the way. You might have to.
Oh, okay.
You might learn how to bleep things this episode.
Or Mav. You could just go by what you normally call me, Mav. That works.
So I met him in college, and I didn't know anybody at the school, but he had already been going there for a while, and turns out he knew everybody at the school, and we pretty instantly became friends. It's actually a fun story, but
I'm a whore.
That now you made it sound real weird how we met.
Not like that.
He knew everybody on campus, and so he basically went around and he's like, "I like you. You're gonna be my Goose." And I was like, "Okay, well, I don't know anybody." And he's like, "I know everybody." And he started introducing me to the point where like professors didn't know my real name; they just knew me as Goose. So
my favorite story is when you told me that you were encountered at a bar.
At a literal bar.
Some random girl came up to you. She was like, "I think I know you." And you were like, "I have no idea who you are." She's like, "No, you're Goose." And you're like, "What the fuck?"
And I was like, "Okay, yep, you know exactly who I am." That's
That's funny. That's great.
Yeah. So that's how Spec. And that was I was just thinking about that was like 10 years ago almost. So
oh yeah,
yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah. So I that was college, and yeah, I don't know where you want me to go with the description. I mean, I have.
No. So what do you? What I know you got. You are now currently the runner of not the runner, the manager or the people doing martial arts. That's your that's your page. That's like.
Oh yeah.
I want to promote that.
Yeah. So amongst other things, I have a martial arts photography page. Thank you for letting me promote that. That's yeah on Instagram. It's my martial arts photography
shameless
page.
Folks. All right, we're gonna plug out as many things as possible. Okay, shameless.
It's called. It's literally just called People Doing Martial Arts. But yeah, so I used to backstory on that is like I used to play in a bunch of bands and do all this stuff, and then when I wasn't playing in bands, I was taking photos for bands, delved into that, and then I got out of that. I was in the military for a little bit, so I wasn't taking pictures of bands and stuff. So when I got out, I kind of wanted to pick some old hobbies back up, get back into some things, and one of those things was photography. So I train martial arts. I train mostly Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and submission grappling. Amongst other things.
Oh, you're dangerous. Goose is dangerous, guys.
Yes, he is, ladies and gentlemen.
I had no idea.
I try. I hang out with a lot of dangerous people. I always tell people that. But so I was like, I'm always around martial arts, and I'm always at my gym. So I was like, I need to get back to photography. So I started doing. I did this little challenge for myself. I did just to kind of reacquaint myself with photography and with the editing softwares and all that. I was like, I'll do one picture a day of martial arts for a year. So that's kind of what that page is right now. It's just it's literally me having an excuse to learn, relearn some of these programs, relearn photography. It's called People Doing Martial Arts. I post one picture of people doing martial arts per day, and then sometimes it's one picture and one reel. It's fun.
Wow. Pretty cool.
Thanks. Yeah, it's fun. Fun little. I like how said he's like, "Oh, Goose is dangerous," and I'm like, "I'm not that dangerous. I'm literally sitting here with two knives in front of me." Just maybe I need to. Maybe I need to.
I'm not that dangerous. Just fucking weapons falling out of the room.
It's all right. Usually my long sword, my pistol, something's hanging around me normally too, so it's fine.
Oh well.
But
right,
yeah,
that's cool. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks,
I really appreciate it. Having guests is always fun, mixing things up. And so since you are a guest, let's just talk a little bit about what we do here. We talk about one story, one game, and we have these roles between every segment to mix it up and give us something fresh to talk about. And
don't forget we close with our philosophy.
That's true. We do usually close out the show
before.
Sorry.
Before, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but before we start this segment, I just want to say that when first, you're gonna have to learn how to edit.
That's fine. This is a new challenge for me.
All right, let me try this again. So I just want to say when Spec first told me about the podcast, it was like one of those things where I don't know, like when one of your friends tells you they're going to start a podcast, I was just like, okay, here we go.
I know.
He's like, I'm gonna send you the first episode, and I was like, oh, God, I'm gonna have to listen
God,
to this
here we
thing,
go.
and I'm gonna have to like find like one or two redeeming things about it. And then I remember I was listening to it, and it finished, and I was like, oh, it's over. I actually enjoyed that. Like, this is actually a good podcast.
Yes.
And
Yes.
like,
Gotcha, bitch.
no, I was like, oh, okay, all right. No, he's actually doing this. It was just like I was ready to be like, hey, man, maybe podcasting's, maybe just keep it between you guys. But then I was like, oh, this is actually like, I love the format. Not to kiss up to you guys too much, but I really do love the format. I think it's really original. You guys have great chemistry together, so I've been really like genuinely enjoying it every time Spec sends me the episodes.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, and I'm
so
all
glad to
about
hear that,
like
dude.
yeah, man. Like whenever I send stuff to Goose, it's always like I know he's gonna give me. He's not afraid to tell me if it's gonna suck. So that's why I always send.
Oh, I will tell you.
Thanks for sure. So yeah,
That's
no,
great.
I'm thankful for that. But thank you, man, for being a fan. And yeah, so now you know what we're doing. We're gonna start off with the D20. So this is one of the things that we have a lovely D20 that we're gonna roll every episode between our topics, and we're gonna and it's 1 to 20. It's got all different topics of conversation, and just yeah. We're gonna roll that, and when you send in the feedback, send in some suggestions for these because we could get real wild with some of these. All right, so let's start off with the first roll, which we got 15.
Oh boy, let's see. What is 15 today? Oh no.
Don't say oh no.
Oh no, this is really bad. Okay, number
Yeah,
15.
yeah, I love it. Politicians I want to smash, either physically or sexually.
Yeah, politicians I
I
want
love
to
it.
smash. I think we should do both. We should definitely do both. And you know what? Since we're we have a guest, I think they should go first, please.
All right,
Goose.
let's go,
Thank
Goosey.
you, Seti.
Let's hear it.
Okay,
Politician you want to smash in bed and against a brick wall. So name your two.
Okay, all right. I should just like go for a cop out here with the smash against the wall and be like Adolf Hitler because he was a politician. I'll be
Boo!
Yeah,
I'll be more creative than that. So you know what? Something about that guy just rubs me the wrong way.
Just horrible artist. Horrible
Yeah,
artist.
that's what it's.
Could-
It's the art and
It's the art.
okay. So
His
I feel like
mustache.
oh man, I want to smash. I'm trying to think like I don't want to pick. I just genuinely don't want to pick anybody current. Mainly because I feel like I'm gonna say, "Oh, I want to beat the shit out of this person," and someone's gonna come to me and be like, they donated like $60,000 to starving $60,000, not even that much, $60 million to starving children. I'm gonna be like,
Oh,
God,
Goose,
like,
come on.
sure.
We're history
Yeah.
majors. We got this one.
That's
in the
well, I'm
bag.
trying to go more historical, so it's like this
Sure.
person can't seek retribution on me because they've been long dead.
Wow, that's funny.
Oh man. I might need one of you guys to go first. I need a second.
No, you're gonna
I'm
pass
not a
it to
professional.
Spec. Let's Spec.
There we go.
Spec do it. Go for it.
All right. Well, I will shamelessly say that I want to smash Tulsi Gabbard. Like she is. Oh man,
That's my smash.
Bro,
I saw her on the campaign trail.
You had
I
your
fucking-
chance, Goose.
She. Did you back it off mine? No, it's fine.
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah,
Tulsi
that's a
Gabbard,
good
she
point.
is like I was gonna vote for her, but they fucked her over, and it's like I want to fuck her over different ways, but that's besides the point.
Yo,
Tulsi, I love you. No, please, no disrespect, Tulsi. Respectfully,
No.
respectfully.
no, completely
Gabbard, I love you.
disrespectful. Just tied up, naked, pissed on. Totally
Oh,
disrespectful. Like,
Oh, God, can't do that to Tulsi. Can't do that. Too much respect.
Dude,
but
that's a good
to
pick.
politician though to fight. Let's see. I think I'm gonna go against the Mad Duelist. I want to see if I could hold my own against Andrew Jackson.
really? You're gonna go all the way back to Andrew Jackson?
Yeah,
All right.
he was like one of the last, not one of the, because Teddy Roosevelt was also a fucking badass, and he pulled himself out of a fucking, horrible, disease-ridden childhood to become a fucking raging bull moose. But yeah, no, but Andrew Jackson, definitely I might have to go with him because he's a duelist. They said he rattled around with more bullets in his body than anyone else. Like, yeah, I think I got to do it. I got to see if I got what it takes to take out the old man, just for an honorable duel.
Wait, I can fight. It's not like necessarily somebody I want to beat up. It's like somebody I want to fight because that's a completely different question.
Sure. I mean,
'Cause I know you don't wanna beat up
to your
Andrew Jackson.
interpretation.
Okay, that's fair. I was misunderstanding. Okay, well in that case, I want to fight I want to fight Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, okay. There we go.
That guy, it just seems like a hard dude, and I'm just like, if anyone's gonna, actually, Abe Lincoln was a wrestler.
Oh yeah, that's
So
right.
I might be able to have
Holy
a grappling
shit.
match with Abe Lincoln. Yeah, Abe Lincoln was a
Okay.
wrestler back in the day, so I might have a decent.
Little BJJ
Gra-
with old Abe.
Emancipate this bitch.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then I was looking up while you were talking historical female politicians because I was just, I don't know.
Right, you don't want to take it to
the other smash.
you know,
I mean, I
recent.
could be hilarious and just say Bernie Sanders for the other one, but like, you know, that's,
That would be hilarious.
but I was like, let me just quickly Google this. And this person, Victoria Woodill, she lived in 1872, so I think I'm free and clear on this one. I don't know. She's got this like, let's see here. She ran for president, politician. So I'm gonna go with Victoria Woodill, and everyone's gonna find Google and find the one picture.
The one hand painted picture of her.
It's like one of those like sepia colored pictures.
Fucking
So I'm
aged
gonna
by
be boring on this one.
sunlight.
Just go
where she
Victoria.
had to stand still for like 3 minutes for the picture to get done.
Well, like I assume most of these women, like I'm looking at pictures of them and I'm like, oh my god, these are rough looking women. And then I realized these women are probably like they lived in like the early 1900s, so they're probably like tougher than me, and they probably had like the craziest hard lives. So I'm like, yeah, no wonder they don't look good. Sorry, dude, they can't please you looks wise because they're fucking busy churning butter or doing whatever women had to do back then.
You know, not get dysentery and die. You know.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. Yeah, they're
thing.
just like raising their like 84 children when 70 of them had already died in childbirth. Like, yeah, these women are probably hard as fuck. And
Oh shit, that's great. All right,
That was me when I saw Tulsi Gabbard.
Hey,
Just
Tulsi's a very good pick, honestly.
yeah, Tulsi is
Respectfully.
I don't know where the respect is for, but sure. So my pick for Smash, surprisingly, it's gonna be Liz Cheney. I would dog walk Liz Cheney. She just seems like a seasoned veteran. I just want to I don't know.
That
you think she's been ran through? Is that what we're talking about? Like she knows she's a connoisseur.
I think she knows a thing or two, and I think she could teach me something. It's like, I want to fuck your wisdom.
I don't hate that pick.
That's what I'm saying.
Like I wouldn't have picked it, but I'm like, wow, Seti, that's a
Liz Cheney.
Damn.
That's
you have put. You know why I like that? Because you've put some thought into that. This is not the first time you've thought about that.
You're right about that. We don't want to go into too much detail about how much I've thought about it, but I
wrote that prompt. I didn't know Seti wrote that prompt. Jesus.
Seti's like all of the paper just says politicians at Spec. It's 1 through 20.
Oh god.
I'm talking about Liz Cheney today. No, but
yeah,
I respect that. I respect that.
That's the one right there, I think. I mean, I know the easy pick would have been AOC, probably. A lot of people probably.
I mean, that's everybody's gonna.
But no, bring me Liz. Come to me, Liz. Let's have a conversation. And that's for the other Smash. There's so many bad politicians out there, and I don't know, man. I would just push the entire fucking Congress into the fucking ocean. But if I had to pick just one, I mean, if I had to pick just one, I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know, Louis Gohmert. I would love to kick that dude's ass. It'd be great. It'd be hilarious to me. Just to push him down the steps of the fucking National Museum or something. I don't
Oops.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, see that penny on the floor, you piece of shit, and then you just kick him down. There you go.
Sparta kick style.
Exactly. Like that would be fucking hilarious. Oh, that's a controversial opening, guys. Honestly, like
this podcast is wild.
Not safe for work, baby. That was all right. That's an ongoing joke because we were setting up the Reddit page or something like that, right? Was it?
Yes.
It was like we're looking up all the different explicit content. Yes, it's gonna have that. But then Seti was like, not safe for work, and then it's just been an ongoing.
You know what? Honestly, it's okay. We can clean it up. We have. Damn. All right. That was the end of that little section, the first roll. But there was something that we missed in our intro.
Which was?
I'm so sorry. We have to mention this person. We have an editor now.
Oh yeah,
show.
Let's bring her up in here.
Yes,
just
we
for
can't
sure.
forget that. I really did forget that from the intro.
Sachi, we're fucking shouting you
Sachi,
out.
we love you.
Crazy bitch.
So we have an editor now for the show, and yeah, she's gonna be doing our videos content. So if you start seeing videos pop up on YouTube, if you start seeing videos pop up on Instagram Reels or Facebook Stories or TikTok Shorts, YouTube Shorts, they're all because of this one wonderful person that we encountered online who wants to help us out and big us up. So thank you, big shout out, much love. We now have an editor. So guess what? Maybe the show won't be so raunchy because maybe she'll start bleeping us. Maybe we will be safe for work. How about that? He's like, nah.
But Sachi, we apologize that you have to listen to this smut. All right, let me just put that out there, Sach. All right, we apologize. We know that you're gonna be combing through these archives. You're gonna be like, "What the fuck are these?" Oh Jesus, just shame, shame in the editing. It's
sorry,
fine,
that just makes
but
it better for me because I talk to her like almost every day, so it's gonna be fucking funny as hell.
We appreciate you, Sach. You really do. But all
Can
right,
I
let's
just
move
say-
on. Okay. Yeah,
Can I just say
Sure.
that this podcast has gone from, hey, Goose, welcome here. Promote your Instagram page. Now, which politician are we going to fuck? Which one are we going to Hey, thanks to this new editor. You guys are all over the place.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
God.
called mental
love it.
illness. It's called mental illness, folks. All right, that's what that is.
What do you mean? This is the format of the show, all right? I mean, that's just the way it's gonna be. It's random because of the dice. You just take a chance on the dice. You never know what's gonna come up.
I get you. All right, let's move on. Let's get our. We're trying to keep this to not do 5 hours, so we're
Right.
gonna. Because with both of you guys, I'll just keep talking. This is the worst combo to have with me in here
Man, this is
because
the best. What are you talking about? This is
no, because
awesome.
I won't shut the fuck up. Is what the problem is.
Look, we'll figure it out. No worries.
All right. Games.
We're doing our first.
That
That one
game.
game. That one game. All right.
So Goosey,
I've been
what's your
preparing for
one
this.
game? Oh, he's been preparing.
Oh,
Let's
I've
hear
been
it.
ready. I've been putting a lot of thought into this one actually because I knew this was coming.
Nice.
I'm gonna go ahead and say my that one game is gonna be the OG Crash Bandicoot
Yo.
Okay.
for the PS1, and there's a reason for that.
Let's hear it.
The reason is I have a pretty good relationship with my dad. I'm fortunate in that way. Me and my dad always have had a really good relationship, and some of my earliest memories. My father has played 2 video games in his entire life: Crash Bandicoot and Wii Golf. And so back in the day,
I love it.
That's what my dad has played. So we
Papa Goose. I love that,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, exactly. He's no one better to hang around with. And I just remember like being a kid, and I have so many fond memories of playing that game with my dad. And I was like super young, and I couldn't get past the levels, and he had no idea how to play video games, but he would just hop on and we'd figure out. But he was an adult, so we'd figure our way through the levels and all that. And then they I think we had, I don't know how they did the sequels for that game, but I remember there being like a one where it was either like, I think it was Crash 3 where like you would like jump through like these vortexes and go to these different worlds. And I remember playing that with him, and that's just a good memory, good time. So I was mulling around. I've had a lot of games that have had impact on me, but that one right there is like the OG first video game I remember playing. Good memories with my dad. Can't beat it.
That is pretty cool,
I couldn't beat that either, man.
That's like, I mean, I think a lot of gamers have memories like that where they, just, they form these great memories around gaming, and that's what keeps us going and keeps us coming back because we understand the power of that collaboration, and that cooperative effort is something that really does build relationships. And, part of this show is just talking about that, definitely, and giving people the chance to understand that gaming is more than the sum of its parts because of the people that it touches. And I think that's a big part of it. So yeah, thanks dude for sharing that. That's amazing. And I do have a question actually, which is,
Yeah,
do you still play Crash? Do you still
I haven't played Crash in years. Spec knows this, but I definitely don't consider myself a gamer, not because of any like other reason that I never got like super into games. But we were having this conversation on the phone where like I think with our generation, even if you weren't like a so-called like gamer or you never like went hardcore into the game world, like you just said, there's always that couple games where like you got good memories tied to it, as your buddies playing Halo or whatever it was. Like everybody in our generation's got that.
Oh, for sure.
So unfortunately,
You can't
I
escape
don't
it.
play that one much anymore. But I still game from time to time. Definitely still try to find the time.
All right, cool. All right, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah. I like that. That's good. All right, so
Yeah, bring some heart to this podcast. You guys
for
been missing
sure.
it.
No.
Oh,
No,
I'm just kidding.
one.
Just kidding.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, Crash Bandicoot, man.
I remember playing Crash a little bit. My cousins were big into Crash as well. I myself never got into it. I think I was more of a Mario person at that time. So that was my kind of platformer, my console of choice platformer. But yeah, that was one of the big ones for sure. And a lot of people still enjoy it. I think they remade it or remastered it or something recently years ago. So.
They put it in the Uncharted 4 game.
That's right. Yep.
There was a little like cameo of it that they got to like. There was like a part where in the story where they Nate and Elena are sitting on the couch and they're like, "Well, I'll play for the dishes" type deal, and
they're playing Crash.
They fire and you hear the PlayStation 1 startup shit and it's all like very
Yo.
nostalgic, and that was a good
amazing.
part of that video game. It hit you. If nothing else hit you, like that section was like, oh man, like I'm old. Like Jesus Christ.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, so what's up, Spec? You want to tell us about your one game this week?
This week, I think I didn't have a game until I was gonna wait to hear what I was gonna feel the room, but I think I'm gonna go PS2 and go with I think I. Yep.
Did he freeze? Oh.
I feel like we're having some technical difficulties here.
Yep. Well, good thing you have an editor now.
Yeah, right? Okay, let's see if we can get the boy back here.
This is that shit you don't see on the finished product of every other podcast. Right? It's just like
this man gonna say from the top, boy.
Yeah. You want me to recreate the Crash Bandicoot thing? That was real. That was emotion. Right. Memories of my dad. You think I could just do that on command?
Right,
man. Okay, yeah, because when you're talking, it's not like the sound bars aren't moving. Give it a shot.
Man, we might have to invite him back in or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, welcome back to SETI and Goose. We got rid of that dead weight.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
Okay. Don't worry, SETI started our own podcast.
Hey, there you go.
Okay. Your thing is moving again.
All right, so that's the thing. Where did we leave?
You were about to tell us. Sorry, technical difficulties.
I don't think it's going to capture any of my audio, but
it looks like it's capturing.
It's recording.
No, I mean prior to me leaving.
Oh god, again.
Okay, damn it.
No. Oh my!
Power gonna go out.
This is so bad.
Oh wait, we heard you say fuck.
Okay. Yeah, this is not a good time for recording, I guess, because
Is there a storm?
There is a storm, and it's cutting in and out right now. So.
Oh shit.
What
about
Well, it says I'm recording technically, so we got
good. Yeah.
Where are you in Waterbury or are you in Wolcott?
Waterbury.
Bro, we're just gonna have to power through this, all right? We'll see what we got.
Scenario. Yeah.
At the end of it.
Maybe just do a re-intro. Oh yeah, you guys got a severe thunderstorm watch. It looks like. Oh, but it looks like it's just a small cell. So hopefully it just passes over you and leaves you alone.
Yeah, let's hope so.
All right.
Let me turn off the TV. Thanks, Goose. Back to us at the studio for.
Yeah. Back to you guys. Cut the.
It's all right.
You want to do like a?
Yeah, we were on games, right? So we just went over. You were asking me what I was gonna talk about.
Right, your one game is where we are at.
Okay.
So, just explain the technical difficulties and then go back into it.
Exactly. So it'll just be all right. There's technical difficulty there. I got lost in the storm that I'm currently in, whatever the hell. But hey, it's fine. I'm back in it. We're gonna edit that all together and somehow make a finished product. We'll see what happens. So, All right, folks. My one game, if we're gonna get back into that, my one game happens. Is Goose was talking about memories of his dad. I gotta talk memories of my dad now because we're getting all dad nostalgic. And Dynasty Warriors
Nice.
happens to be. I think it was we started on Dynasty Warriors 3. I'm thinking. But yeah, me and my dad just, hey, do you want to play tonight for a little bit? And yeah, and just us mowing down an army of chinks. It was the best fucking time of my little life.
Damn it, Spec! They do not know that you are Asian. You cannot just.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
you will be canceled instantly, motherfucker.
I
okay?
revealed that I was Asian last episode, so guess what? Everyone knows now for sure.
Right,
but I was able to kill a bunch of Chinese folk playing Dynasty Warriors, just living out fake history. Well, not fake history. And then also listening to like the.
I don't think Dynasty Warriors actually happened. I think
the romance of the Three Kingdoms era. They say that these people existed, but not to the extent that they were portrayed in the games. Okay. Blah 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 blah. That's but fair. Also just the just like I said, just having to take down Lubu. And just the fear because the emanating lightning waves and like his Mushu, whatever the hell was going on, just like okay, we have these big bad guys to overcome, and trying to hit 1,000 enemies was difficult back in the day. You know, you got a bunch of cool characters you get to learn about like a little bit. So I don't know. There's just it kind of hit all the check marks for me, like a little bit of history, a little bit of just going out there playing with your dad, having fun. You know, and just it was really good. It's not wholesome because, but oh yeah, the butt metal.
All the murder.
Oh my god, the best part was the butt metal.
The butt metal.
The butt metal.
You have to explain that one.
You've never heard a Dynasty Warriors soundtrack?
No. What about it? I mean, I've played a few of the games, but where's the butt metal come in?
That's it. The backdrop for all the game is butt metal.
Oh, like, okay. You're just like you're using that like butt rock. Like I've never heard butt metal. I've definitely heard butt rock before.
Oh yeah, like, no Chinese butt metal is the best little memories I have of that. Just hearing it, I could hear some of the start menus now because of it. Like it's just all the intros.
That's so funny.
That's great. I did play a lot of those games. I played the hell out of Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors back in the day.
Oh yeah, they did make a Samurai Warriors shoot off. I remember.
I used to love those games. Those were great, cooperative, and like, yeah, just mowing waves of enemies. I love those Musou games. I do. There's actually a couple that I've played that are like outside of the genre as well, or outside of that line as well. There was
Hyrule Warriors too. I remember the Zelda came out with one.
They did that. They also have done. There's this one called like Sengoku Kangaron. There's another one that was called Mystic Heroes. There's one called 99 Nights. That was an old school one. There's so many of those games.
Do you want to count Bladestorm into that too, you think?
Bladestorm, definitely. Oh my goodness. Yes,
Bladestorm. Yes, Kessen 3. Dude, oh my god. Yes. I played Kessen 3 like a motherfucker. Holy Jesus.
Those games where you're just mowing through countless hordes of people. That is my
And you
jam,
get to control that little unit too. That was the best part of those games because it wasn't just your one unstoppable fucking dude. It was like, all right, here's my unit of guys that I have to, and that was kind of like your health bar. How many guys that you fucking kept alive in these skirmishes?
Those are fun. Those were a lot of fun. So that's a good pick, dude. I hope they actually revive that genre a little bit. I mean, I know they're still making Dynasty Warriors. They'll probably never fucking stop, but
yeah, but they bastardize it so much now. I picked up the latest one just because of how it's like an open world type thing now, and I'm like, oh god, what is this? Yeah, no,
it's fucking horrible.
Empires.
What did they do?
The Empires versions, I love the Empires because you got to like go like build your own kingdom and like kind of make your own.
Play your what if story and get a character in there and see how things. Yeah, it was great. They need to bring that shit back, son. But did you play? Sorry, I know we're going off on like a crazy like tangent at this point, but there's a game called Dynasty Warriors Strike Force. Did you play Strike Force?
I did not play Strike Force.
Gotta get
What's
that
the premise
shit,
of
boy.
Strike Force?
Basically everybody has Dragon Ball Z level powers and they're out there just kicking ass. Like it's wild, dude. Like it's fucking wild, son.
No, Lubu doesn't need a goddamn Kamehameha bullshit, all right? He's already fucking unstoppable.
You would think
No.
But
no.
I say
he don't need that bullshit. He don't need that bullshit.
No, try it. Okay, trust me. Try it. It's wild. All right. That's that's enough for me. I'm gonna shut up now, you know.
What was about your game then, Seti? Come on now.
Oh, right. My game, you know, we got this whole format here about the game and the story, and so I'm tying my two things together, and my game is Saints Row 2, a classic,
Ah,
a
a classic.
classic. I really, really enjoyed that game. Saints Row is like, it's one of those games that spawned off of the success of, Grand Theft Auto, but they have their own spin to it. And the second game, in my mind, is where they really hit their stride. They got great activities. It was a decent open world. You had a high level of control over your character.
Oh yeah,
like
the
as far as how they
customization
look.
options were insane.
Yeah, great. And you also could buy property. They're hitting a lot of good notes, and they did it in an interesting way with the characters, like who you were as the boss of the gang and the other bosses of the other gangs, and how you took them down across the city, and how the story was like the sprawling kind of tale about these corporations and these different people trying to survive. And it was really good. The first game was kind of trashy. The second game was really, really fucking phenomenal, and I think everyone should start there if they're gonna try it out.
That's how I started. I didn't play 1. I played 2.
Yeah, skip 1. I mean, 1 is very skippable. I mean, it's interesting, but not. They didn't really bring up the humor and kind of the absurdity. They didn't really play that up. They tried to play the more serious gang story angle, like we're the hood, we're the boys. It's like, no, you don't need that. Just let's go crazy. Like we're wild, we're insane, we're ruthless gang members, and we're all nuts. So yeah, it was great in the second one. I recommend it, and yeah, that is my game for this week. I recommend it to everyone.
I never played that game, but I've heard very good things. It's one of those games that like there's so many games out there that like I've just heard such great things about that I just never got around to playing.
Yeah,
Fortunately, that was one.
Happen.
Well, I remember because you were always about watching the games, right? You watched a lot of Let's Plays and stuff for a lot of things.
Yeah, so that's kind of how yeah. I'm glad you brought this up because I didn't even think about this, but yeah, so I did a lot of. Especially when I was in the military and I was traveling a lot and I just didn't feel like lugging a system around with me. And I just never built a PC, which I definitely should have. And I just never really had the time to play. But what I would always have is like, I had a couple like walkthrough channels I would watch. So people would be like, oh, dude, I played this game and it was so good. And I'm like, yeah, I watched it. People would be like, you watched the game? And I'm like, yeah, I watched like the dude's walkthrough. It's a lot cheaper to do it that way. And
sure.
It was a lot easier to like break up into like, I could watch like 15 minutes here and there. But I've always been into games with like good stories. And so any game I was interested in playing was a game with a good story anyway. So
right. So
yeah.
I'm right there with you, dude. Actually, I watched the first Last of Us, and I watched the God of War remake that they did for the PlayStation 4. So I'm
nice.
I'm right there with you. Sometimes you don't always need to play the game if you just want to know what happens. I get that. So yeah, watching games is also part of gaming culture too. So
they make them
feel
so
left
cinematic
out.
now.
Yes, that's part
especially
of the
like The
problem,
Last of
but
Us.
Anyway. Oh yeah, for sure. I get it. I can't remember the last game I watched, but yes, those were the two big ones that I remember most. The first God of War remake and The Last of Us, the first one.
I actually watched a lot of the Assassin's Creed games. I was like, that's like if I have like a series that I follow, it's the Assassin's Creed, and I just love them. Well, loved. Kind of. This last couple were not I'll just say it wasn't my style, but I played up till through Black Flag, and then I think everything after that I watched because I was just really interested in the story. I loved the lore. I love how they did that.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're all Black Flag lovers here, so you're not the
show.
you fit right in.
Oh yeah.
You fit right in.
Oh
yeah.
All right, well, that was great,
Forces
guys.
my boys to sing at gunpoint.
Thanks for sharing all these great games, and I really hope people are getting something out of this, and I hope they find some games that they also love.
Yeah, and I think that's the cool thing about this podcast is that like I said, I genuinely enjoyed it when you guys first sent it to me, and I'm not a gamer. Yeah, I know I've played a couple games in my day. I'm familiar with the culture, but I'm not a gamer by any stretch of the imagination, and I still enjoy the podcast. So I think that's like a credit to you guys being able to kind of relate it back to the world. Pretty cool. I'm gonna stop kissing your ass now, but it's really good.
Thanks, man. We really appreciate it, and we're glad to have
really
you
do,
with
man.
us.
What do we got next?
We're rolling again.
Yes, we are rolling, which is a little bit terrifying, but
I was about to say, there's like a level of anxiety.
We
already started off great with that one.
Yeah.
Fucking God intervened and cut me out the fucking chat. So fucking, jeez.
Oh God.
Alrighty then. 10.
Let's see. What do we
What we
got
got?
for 10?
We got 10.
Oh, 10 is
1 year
a
from
good
now,
one.
5 years from now, 10
that's
years
a good
from
one.
now.
Okay.
This is a good one.
Dang.
Yeah,
Alright,
That's a
Goosey.
really good top. Who came up with that one?
That was SETI. That was SETI.
Nice.
100%
I
SETI.
like that.
Give him
Yeah.
credit.
Well, you should because he came up with it.
Yeah. All right, who wants to go first?
Oh, Goosey, he's our guest.
Okay, so
That's
it's
true.
basically like,
Gotta let
like
the
where do I
guest
see
go
my?
first.
All right. So it's basically like, where do I see myself in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years?
Sure.
Okay, so that's actually a good one because I'm moving on Thursday, so a week from yesterday. Yeah, 6 days of moving. We're just moving down the street we're in a 2-bedroom right now. Our roommate moved out, so now me and my wife are moving to a 1-bedroom apartment. It's actually bigger, it's nicer, and it's cheaper. It's great, but it's just right down the street. I'm gonna live with some friends. Not
upgrade.
live with them. They live in it's a 2-family house. Yeah, it's a 2-family house. They live in the other apartment. Couldn't be a better situation, but we're doing that temporarily. Long story as to why, but we're doing that temporarily. So we plan on only being there for a year, and then buying a house. So hopefully within 1 year, I'm going to be getting ready to move into a house outside of the city. I
Nice.
currently live like in the University City area in Philadelphia, so I'm actually pretty pumped about that. My wife's actually should be finishing her PhD soon, so she's going to get a big girl job and be my sugar mama, which is going to be great. But
Oh,
so we'll
wow.
be moving out. Yeah,
Hey,
just
man, that's great.
I'll still be in grad. I'll still be in grad school at the time when she's done. So we'll be looking at, with both our salaries combined, we should be able to afford a decent house. 5 years. What? It's 2022 now. 5 years. Oh man. So I have this ultimate goal of opening my own coffee shop, and kind of like some of Spec and I's friends had. I worked in coffee back in the day, and I really liked it. And so I'm going to business school right now to learn how to do business. Not that you necessarily need that to start a company, but with the GI Bill, I have all this free money on the table to go to school. So I'm actually in business school right now, having a good time. So I plan on hopefully in 5 years having that up and running, and then 10 years. This is like the lame answer, but like, I don't know. I just want to be like sustained. And also once Kelly finishes her PhD, we're sorry, she doesn't get a code name. We're planning on trying to have a kid. So, throw that kid somewhere in this 1 to 5 year plan. And so I think I'm kind of in like this giant period of change right now. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I guess if I spell it out, it's that's the plan.
That's cool, man. I like
House,
that. That's really
coffee
good.
shop, or house and family, coffee shop and family, and then actually living off of my laurels, living off of my own business's income.
Off of your success.
Kind of a lame answer. Sorry,
Point,
this is not the best podcasting story answer, but that's
my dude. That's the dream. Everybody, would love to have a story like that, have goals like that. That's what, I think the reason I came up with this one is because I wanted to talk more about people, making a plan. Like, don't just have it in your head. Write it down, and once you write it down, you have a plan, and once you have a plan, you can make goals, and once you have goals, you can actually achieve them. So that's why I wanted to touch on this a little bit, so that we could talk about where we're going and how we see ourselves. So yeah, like, definitely, dude, don't say it's lame. That's great. My question is barista.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Barista. That's what you
did
really
that for a
wanna
while.
do?
Worked in the old,
and you liked it.
Well, I want to own a coffee shop. I fucking loved it. I have like, obviously we don't have video on this podcast, but I have my whole coffee bar set up kind of over in my kitchen right now. I still do. I make manually make all my own coffee. I grind it every morning. I have multiple ways to make it.
Look at that.
For me, yeah.
I
nerd out.
Why he turned me into a whiskey nerd.
I nerd out over coffee. I nerd out basically. Spec knows this. This is what I do. I get like, I've never casually been interested in anything. I go whole hog into whatever I'm interested in, and with with the whiskey. I was involved in beer before that, and I was like down the rabbit hole before the craft beer boom. Me and my friends were brewing beer in our friend's garage. and we were going ham with that. I mean, I've done quite a few things. I'm definitely like the whole like jack of all trades, master of none. I'm not
Another
really good at any
hobbyist.
of these things, but yeah, I'm a serial hobbyist. But
right?
yeah, no, when it comes to my coffee, I take it very seriously. I just love it. It's actually like one thing I really like about working in the coffee shop was like I like interacting with people. I like people generally, and so it's a good way. You're giving people what they want when you're running a coffee shop. You're giving people that you're like, here's your energy for the day. Here's your
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. It's I like the environment. I like the small coffee shop, and then I like to nerd out over coffee. So it's like two of my favorite
There you
things
go.
in one.
That's awesome.
Kind of
Man. All the luck to
goal.
you.
Have
All
my
the
own little
luck to
spot.
you. I really hope it
Thank you.
turns out exactly the way you want it to, because it sounds awesome.
Thank you.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's the plan anyway. We'll see. Sometimes plans change, but that's the plan right now. It's been the plan for a little bit.
Awesome.
Be proud
awesome.
of it.
I like
we
it.
hope it, and you hope you accomplish all of it, man.
Yeah,
you really
For
do.
sure.
And if we can help you out anywhere along the way, we'll shamelessly promote it. So like, make sure you stop there. Pick up your
Right.
coffee while you listen to the latest episode of GVS. It'll be hopefully within that 5
That'd
to
be
10
cool.
year gap.
All right.
All right. What you guys got?
Spec, you want to go next?
Sure.
You want me to go?
Yeah, that don't matter to me. I'll go. For my
Go for
1
it.
year from now, I would love to be not doing this full time, but I would love to have a very vast audience in a year from now for the podcast.
Oh,
That's what
that's a tight
goal.
goal right there, man.
Well, it's. I feel like it's doable though. If I
You're
just
right.
put the grind in, we just keep it up. Anything's possible at this point. So
For sure, you're not wrong.
I want to have a bigger podcast, and hopefully the offshoot shows that I kept talking about, like I want to get those up and running. Have like a multiple kind of different, like you said, this is going to be like a podcast or not like a network almost, where I want to kind of like get everyone on there.
You call it a network.
Yeah, I want to bring everyone I can, and so let's hopefully it grows that way within a year. 5 years, either I could give this off to you guys and you run it. Well, not specifically, like
How the hell did I get this thing dumped on me?
you two, but but whoever's going to be involved in whoever really gets involved in this, because I'm pretty sure by 5 years people are going to get sick of hearing me. But at least grow it to the point where it's too big to fail within 5 years.
What are you saying? PewDiePie's been on YouTube for like 20 years.
forever.
Okay, like,
Yeah, exactly.
You're
PewDiePie,
good.
Okay.
Logan Paul, Joe Rogan, everybody. These guys been doing it
Yeah.
forever.
they don't care.
all
They're not
right.
stopping. We're not stopping either, bro.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a dumb goal. Come up with a new one. No,
5 years then, at least.
just kidding. Just kidding.
Well, no, I definitely want to get better at my night fighting for sure. To have myself a full suit of armor within 5
Right.
years.
Build
be
up the
able to at
arsenal.
least Either do single combat or the squad combat thing. But at least by 40, before I turn 40, before I fucking die, I'm definitely gonna, between that 10-year gap, I'm definitely gonna be in that 150 versus 150 Battle of the Nations type setting. That's what I want to do with all my heart.
This podcast goes from 0 to 100 so quick. You're like, oh, I want to have a big podcast, which, okay, cool. Yeah, that's a reasonable thing. It's like, hey, okay, what else? And you're like, I want to have a suit of armor and beat the shit out of people with a sword. That's also my 5-year goal.
That's in 5 years. That's in 5 to 10 years. I want to be that proficient at it.
I mean, I'll support it. I'll support it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm
Thank
down.
you.
I want to see
You
it.
know?
I've never seen this before. You'll have to send me some video of people doing this shit, because
Oh,
got
it's
me
great.
curious.
They just broadened out to 150 versus 150.
Oh my God.
So
To be fair, I
wanna
have seen the
take part in
videos
this.
of people doing this, but it's like 5-on-5, and it's wild.
Yeah, it's gonna get even bigger. So I can't wait. It's coming. There, New Haven's got a team.
There you go.
And Hartford. So there's two. I'm from Connecticut, so those are the two places that I could at least go to now, where they have at least for the M1 style one-on-one duels at the moment. I think they have a big team for 10, but I'm not sure. I have to.
Is it okay to like go on a tangent about this, or should we stick to the topic?
Sure, no, let's hear it.
No, go on a tangent.
How does this work? Okay, so we got the teams, right? You got like your guys all in the night armor. I've seen that. What do they do? Like, does each person have a role, or is it just chaos?
It's the point of it. So a kill, I'm going to use air quotes here, is getting the other person down on their knees. So
Okay.
once they hit their knees, they're out. And
Okay.
so that's why you don't want to use a sword for most things. Not enough blunt force. So I'm definitely gonna be using a warhammer or a pole axe at that point. And littler, speedier guys like myself, they do have roles for us where you can kind of like catch them in a bind and just like, all right, there's like a group that's tied up over here where it's like 2 or 4 of your guys versus like 6 of theirs. I could just come in and just shoulder check that whole pile down, and then because everyone's top heavy, so everyone goes down that way, and they're not expecting me to come in from that side angle too. And then also I could get trucked for these because I'm a little guy, so I got to figure out. I got to be really quick and efficient with my movements there, or just get bigger. Essentially, one or the other. But yeah, no, for that, you're definitely trying to, and for the teams wise, you have like USA's got a team, and they'll go over to the UK and they'll fight like German and France and all this. So it's like
I've seen that.
They do have the big country teams, and to qualify for those, you just have to like show up with your locals, kind of like for like golf. You win your local tournaments, and then you get and the people get recruited into the things, and there it is.
It's wild. Just
yeah,
wild.
The journey is slow, but I'm 30 now, so by the time I'm 40, that's the goal. By the time I'm 40.
So that's the 10-year plan.
There's your 10-year plan, yeah.
Within those 10 years, I want to do that. And then, before the 10 years, at the 10-year mark, I would like to hopefully have a family, have this podcast be super successful, and I want to be able to at least say that I was able to touch a few people, not like that, but like to be able to make a difference in a few people's lives to make them better, hopefully.
Well, that's nice.
Wants to touch Tulsi Gabbard
and her too.
Tulsi's husband's a bad dude.
Is he?
Like bad as in like he'll probably kick your ass. But yeah, go ahead.
Like I said, respectfully. Respectfully.
I'm just saying, if Mr. Tulsi Gabbard comes after you, you're on your own. That's
I'll make friends with him.
You better get that knight armor ready.
No, I'll make friends with him. That's the thing.
All right. So for me,
all right, I want to hear Seti's goals.
My goals.
You got the game company going on.
For sure.
Seti's got the world domination plan.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm Pinky, he's the brain. All right, that's how this works.
I'm really trying. I don't want to dominate. I just want to help. And so my 1-year goal is definitely to at least have some part of this game that I'm trying to make built. I don't care what part it is, but I got to get some code written down. I got to get some things done. I got to get some art created. I got to get some collaborators. I got to start taking those steps towards putting it on the market. I don't know. I think 1 year is a reasonable goal for that, to have something down, some demo, I don't know, something. Got to have something. A year is a reasonable goal for that. 5 years out, I would love to have my own studio. I want to be right there with some other smaller studios that are out these days. They've got a couple games under their belt. They've got some employees. They got a headquarters. And, making enough money to invest in new projects and, trying to really make my plans come to fruition as far as, my games and my ideas and putting them out there. The 10-year plan,
world domination.
Well, I was gonna say, it'd be nice to run for office. Like, I think.
Hey, there you go.
I would love to run for if everything goes the way I think it's gonna go, as far as the gaming and the how I'm gonna plan to help people and how I plan to change things. I really do think running for office is probably a good idea at that point, because I will have helped enough people and brought about enough change where people will be like, yeah, this guy, he's got some good ideas. We should probably put him in a place where he can, affect some other types of changes. So, yeah.
Do you know the guy, Greece hired somebody as their, I think it was like their financial minister. Spec, can you look this up?
Sure.
It was, they hired him as, but like Greek financial minister, gaming background or something like that. It was a guy who he was like the CFO of some game company, and like Greece literally was like, we need you. We're failing. We need you to come in, and you did a good job with your company, so we need you to do it for our country.
Yep,
Dude,
Greeks.
it's something wild.
Greece's new finance minister learned from studying video games.
I thought
What's
he
his,
worked for a game company.
what's his name? Do you know? Did they
His
say?
name is
Sorry.
Yanis Yaroufakis.
I think
might
I've
be
heard
Greek.
of that guy. I think I've heard of him.
Very Greek. Very Greek.
Yeah, I think I've heard of him before. Doesn't he like go around giving talks about the World Bank and shit? Like,
Yeah,
talking-
he
Probably.
stands out from the pack by working as an in-house economist for a video game company.
There we go.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was talking
Valve. He worked at Valve.
Valve?
I mean, yeah.
Amazing.
about. I mean,
So
yeah, they probably have a bigger budget than Greece.
Yes.
oh wow. But yeah, that sounds like a trajectory that I'm a little bit on right now. I feel like I want to go move from, this digital space into, how it can affect change in the real world, and that's kind of the path I'm on right now. So
Yeah,
Nice.
They locked us out of the fucking political sphere for how many goddamn years? Might as well start putting some of our youngins in there now,
for sure.
Well, youngins, we're going to be old by then, but
All right, cool. Good goals.
That was
Good goal.
great. That
Good
was
goal
great,
setting.
guys.
Good goal setting. Meaning everybody. Now we'll go back to the podcast. Just kidding.
All right, so let's see what's next. That one story, is that what's next?
we're talking about our story now.
Okay.
Okay. I've gone first on all these. Well, actually, I'm going to defer this one to you again, Spec. I do
Okay.
need time to think about. I would spend all my time thinking about the one game I was going to talk about.
That's fine. I got, for once, I actually have a story that's not going to get pulled out of my ass.
Yeah.
Oh,
So there's a, I think I just lost the, what's it called? I just got to go backwards. Okay, so I'm a big proponent of Dungeons and Dragons. That's like one of my favorite types of, like, I'm such a nerd about that type, the tabletop sphere. So, and they've been doing this thing now where they're trying to make it, I'm not going to try to say video gamey, but they're pulling out more stops to kind of like rely less on, people having to, because they're getting people together, especially during the whole quarantine thing. Like, it was rough. So they started doing stuff where there's more virtual type environments for people to play in, and or just more simple things. But now they're Wizards of the Coast is coming out with this whole new version, because they used to do, whenever a version was getting stale, it's okay, we're going to do a new edition. So 5e is the current one. And so now they're trying to move away from editions and go into a whole new thing of like D&D 1 or something like that, where it's and they're gonna, in more or less, video gamify it. They want to
how
cut
so
out
though? What are they gonna do?
they all digital type atmospheres. So like when it comes to character sheets, they're gonna start doing the calculations for you. They're gonna start having the dungeons will be live and animated. Characters are gonna have their own
Whoa.
animations. It's gonna be ran off the Unreal 5 engine
Whoa.
Really?
type deal. Yeah.
What?
So there's ups and downs with this whole thing. Some people are gonna look at this and be like, "This is what we were waiting for," because they're tired of having, like, we don't want to be fucking sitting in the dark, rolling dice and using a pen and paper to do this bullshit. We don't like imagination, and like
We
that's,
don't like a-
and that's fine. And that's fine. People, and that's how some people rather play. They're so involved. They need the spectacle. You know what I mean? So they want that. And then there's going to be the hardcore folks, and I'm going to say that I'm somewhere in the middle, where like I could see the merits of one side, but I could also see we're moving away from the traditional style of like the community. You bring it together, you sit down, you kind of use your you stay in your characters, you do this and this. They're also trying to like they're using language that I'm not a fan of. Like they're trying to eliminate the lazy DM, and it's like Jesus, like okay, like that's a little bit of a harsh label to just throw out there to start classifying folks.
And how are they gonna do? How is this gonna work? They're trying to
video gamify D&D, yeah.
put a digital front on the old school format of the from the book, from the editions. So what? We're all just gonna have apps on our phone now, the Dungeons and Dragons app, and we'll make a character.
Well,
and
we have character sheet apps already, which I kept track of some of my stuff on when I was playing. So
but were they like official D&D apps though, or was it just
No.
like some other? See, that's what I'm saying. Like now they're trying to. Are they trying to like get in on that space and trying to digital
Yes.
like
Yeah.
Are we
They're
gonna have
now
like
trying to.
AR D&D battles and shit now? Is that what's coming?
I have no idea how far they're gonna go with it right now, but
Bro.
from what they were talking about in the articles I've been reading, they're trying to really gamify this whole system now, where it's just okay.
Look,
Let's not
I don't
let's use
know.
less imagination and use more tech. But and here's the issue though. When it comes to that, now it's if you want to play D&D this way, can your laptop run the engine? Can your, you know what I mean? There's a lot of limitations now where it's like, okay, is this? Do you know how to use this software programming now? If you're going to be the DM, and you're going to have to figure out how to do all these battle maps now, how to transition between this, how many more technical difficulties versus like, okay, when I have everything in front of me, pen and paper, I can kind of like work this shit out on the fly. So there is going to be that adjustment phase, of course, because
Right.
we all know tech isn't perfect when it comes out. So then. So it's going to be complicated at first, and so I'm excited to see where it could go, but I'm also like, all right, well, thankfully they're not. At least I hope not. They're going to just do away with all the paper editions, to
Bro,
where
you got
it's
me
like
excited. Like honestly, I look at D&D from afar like this looks
I
cool.
remember
But
we tried to get you to join a campaign, and it wasn't for you, and that's okay. It's not for you.
it
It's
wasn't
just
for
that
me
was
because
it.
there was I couldn't stay in character. Okay, that's my problem. I have schizophrenia and I could not stay in character, and like it was just it was too much for me. But if you told me, hey, we have an AR like some type of Pokemon Go style D&D game where you can just run around out there with your friends killing shit in a party, and you can party up with the app, and you know you can hold your phone up and you see the monster you're fighting, and you can all do this weird like wizard casting shit, and like dude, like I would play the fuck out of that. Like that sounds
It's
crazy.
not going to be on your phone. It'll be like like I said, it's going to be like a whole program on like your
Mm.
computer or something
Well, you
to
better
that
call me
extent.
Wizards of the Coast if you want to make money. But anyway, like yeah, that actually sounds cool. I'm glad they're evolving. You know, I'm glad they're trying something different because yeah, it has been stuck on the paper and the books for years. Like, which is not a bad thing. It's fun to sit down and create a campaign, and you have this kind of agile environment where you have a person who's kind of guiding you through this stuff, and I think that is interesting. But
Right. And from the other side of it though, Sadie, like I just remember like a lot of the good memories I have of like my dad, he was showing me all the maps that he made. And I'm looking through and it's like, oh, these are fucking awesome. And the time that he put into it and all like you had to back because he was playing in the 80s. So like
right.
when I got to see all the hard work that he put into, to really put a good campaign out, you had to put in that type of work. And I'm really impressed with it. And that's for me is what I love. And so seeing it changed like this is, like I said, I'm half of me's excited, half of me's apprehensive.
We'll
Well,
see.
the important thing to remember is because at first, like, I kind of had the same reaction as you. I'm like, I love D&D. I absolutely love it. I love everything about it. But when he said he was like, oh, that might make me interested. In my head, I'm like, oh, this might not be a bad thing because it might be breaking down a barrier of entry into the game. And there's like when they create the new system, is it like a new edition or is it just something completely new?
They're gonna try to roll out the new technical edition with it because they're gonna
Okay.
they're gonna
So
have new rule sets because the rule sets now won't be so determined on the math, it'll be the programming.
right.
Yo.
So but it's not like they're taking away the old D&D. Like you can
Right.
still play like 5e and stuff like that. But I see the concern because it's like, okay, you're kind of changing what D&D is. But then on one hand, so it's like maybe it tears down a barrier of entry, and then maybe somebody like SETI gets in and says, "Oh shoot, this actually is fun. Maybe I'll try it." Or maybe they just stick to the technological thing.
Bro,
But that
I'm
is very
saying like
interesting.
I would look because look, all these games we already know are ripping off D&D. Okay, like
Facts.
Skyrim, all these fucking like action RPGs where you're leveling up and shit. We know where you got this from. Okay, we know you're not slick. You ain't D&D. We know you're just ripping them off up and down, left and right, every fucking turn. Okay, all these fantasy worlds and shit. Who do you think you are, Tolkien? No, you're not. Okay, you're not. You can't win. We know where it comes from. So if they're gonna reach in and be like, no, we're gonna step into the digital side now. we got this shit. We know how to level characters. We know how character progression works. We know how, enemies and shit. Like, if they step into this room, they're gonna knock off a lot of people. Like, you ain't gonna be able to copy them no more, boy, because they coming for real. Like, they got all this shit. They got the lore. They got the characters. They got all these great enemies. They got all these great weapons, and I think it's a game changer. I do.
They already started doing it lightly with like Neverwinter Nights and a couple other things out there, or D&D-esque.
Yeah.
But my problem is like D&D was never the Diablo-esque loot dungeon crawling
True.
type fucking game. It was the story. It was the development of your character over the time. It was the funny quirks you got to do, the random conversations that just spring up out of nowhere, the spontaneity. And I feel like a lot of that is going to get taken away for the gamifying aspect of, we gotta kill this whole forest because fuck the story. I want to get the good shit. You know what I mean? And so I'm that's why my foot's halfway in the door. I could see the merits and I could see the.
Yeah. I'm thinking too that. So I'm curious as to how this is going to affect the role of the DM. And I think that's kind of what's going to make it or break it for me.
Truly.
Because Dungeons & Dragons is a lot about the DM. I was thinking, I'm like, oh shoot, it's not going to be on paper anymore. It's going to be all these algorithms. And like, okay, I can live with that almost in my head. But once you start taking power away from the DM is kind of where I'm like, that's where I get a little sketched out. And of course, you can always go back and play the older editions.
Right.
You can always go back and play the older editions. They're not taking it away. Which, I mean, I've played older editions. That's you just could be for whatever reason. And so yeah, I'm just curious how this is going to affect the power of the DM. It's a good. I'm interested.
The GM at will could just be like, all right, I don't like that rule, fuck it, and just throw it out. Versus
exactly.
when you're going to be in this system.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to do that on the fly? Is it going to be a drop in, drop out rule system? Is it going to be like, how are they going to really get
one of my favorite
aspect?
One of my favorite things to ever happen, like in DM, is like, or in Dungeons & Dragons, is like you're sitting there with your friends, and your friend's like, I'm gonna roll a perception check, and you're just like, dude, we do not have time for you to roll a perception. I'm gonna roll a perception check, and then they roll like and the 20, and the DM's like, you see into the future, and yeah, it's like it's just like
out some shit.
Like and you're like, okay, all right.
Your character has a seizure on the ground, and he foresees the oracle of the
Yeah.
A really good DM. He can really
the DM's just like,
scene.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I mean?
Okay, yeah. Oh, of course he rolled it. Okay. And he has So
that's great.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
We'll give it a shot.
That's on my radar now, bro, because I did not hear about that. So thank you for bringing that up. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I figured if I'm gonna have my story, I'm gonna come correct.
All right, Goose.
So you want to go next? Or you want me to go?
No, the guests. We gotta let the guests go first.
Okay, so I did find a story. I was like, how do I keep this about in the gaming world? I know I technically don't have to, but I can't keep it related to the gaming world. I'll stick on the theme of the podcast. So I couldn't find I was just trying to find like an actual story coming from this company, but I've heard many stories coming up in the past because there's a lot of movement being made on this front, and it's a front that I'm involved in. So the tactical gaming sphere is at a real interesting place. And let me elaborate on that. When I say tactical gaming, I'm not talking about Call of Duty or even like I'm not talking about like Age of Empires
Rainbow
or anything
Six.
like that. Not like that. More like there are people designing games right now that are very, very good military style simulators. I'll preface this with, I was in the military for 6 years. I never went to war. I didn't kick anybody's door down, shoot anybody in the face. I worked with a lot of people that did. I just didn't. That just is not something I ever did. So I'm not trying to claim I'm anything else. Something I'm not. But I am familiar with the world. And I've had a lot of, training, and training in reality are very different things. But I've been through a lot of the training of that kind of stuff. And there's a company out there called Chimera RX, and they're doing a lot of work right now with VR and like immersive VR for tactical training, everything from like local law enforcement to military. It's an like pretty affordable relative training tool, and it's obviously not perfect. No training tool is going to be perfect, but they're doing a lot of really, really great work. So that Chimera RX company, they have like you put out the VR glasses, they have like a rifle you hold, or pistol or whatever, and you can have multiple weapons. And they run you through scenarios, realistic scenarios designed by their company, who does an awesome job. And then guys like Travis Haley, if you're big in the tactical space, you know who he is. He's like a big proponent of them. It's kind of close to me, like, because one, the military, and I know guys that use this stuff. And then I also do, like, I train with some law enforcement and some military guys back in the day. Like, I train the combative training, hand-to-hand stuff. So this is like that I can do pretty cheap and pretty effectively, you know, having people like literally like, I'm like, okay, you know, dude comes at you with a knife, here's what you do, and here's how you do the basic manipulate a human body and all that. But with the tactical training, it's always tough because you have to take a group of guys, you have to go out to a place, you have to have actors, you have to have either simunitions or like laser system. With this, it's like they're developing a lot of really cool training. And this applies not just to like high level military training, it comes all the way down to, there's a couple companies out there. I think Kill House Games make door kickers too. That game, Spec knows. Yeah, like I love that game, and it's like a really interesting CQB simulator. It's a perfect no, but like you can't get through that game without using some sort of like realistic tactical knowledge, and then you can learn quickly why certain things don't work, why certain things work. So I was gonna focus on the Chimera RX, but like the whole tactical gaming industry is at a really interesting place right now. And if anybody that's listening is interested, I'm going to shut up in a second, but if anybody that's interesting is listening, I highly recommend checking out a guy. He's got a podcast and he's got a great YouTube channel. He's called Controlled Pairs. He's another veteran who he understands the space, and he plays the tactical games, and he most of the time is like walking you through the tactical game. Like, here's why I'm making this decision. Here's what this game does well. Here's what, you know, they're lacking on, whatever. Nothing's going to be perfect. But it's just at a really, really interesting space, and I'm really kind of following this trajectory, everything from a training tool to just guys like me who have these skills and kind of want to continue using them. But, you know, fortunately, I live in a society where I don't need to go kick down somebody's door and shoot them in the face right now. Right. So I'm a big fan of that. But if I can just keep that skill sharp, you know, I still do some training on that type of thing. But if I could keep it sharp by just doing it in the virtual world, it's been a lot of fun, and I think it's really useful.
Yeah, it'd be nice not to have to clear my own house for the 90th fucking time. You know, like,
no,
there's only so many times you clear the inside of your own house, folks. Just saying.
And let's just be real. Like, simulations have been going on. You know, war games and simulations have been a thing for a very long time.
Oh yeah,
and I think especially if you talk about pilot training, people who do that kind of thing, their simulations are up there because they have to be. You know, all the controls are right there in front of them. The screens are up. You're in this little
whole cockpit is a screen.
Yeah, the whole
cockpit. Crazy.
Yeah, the whole thing is just simmed out to perfection because it has to be. And you know, we see, and even talking about when you want to talk about gaming and simulation, you know, we got racing sims, and now VR headsets are making those racing sims. They're bringing those to another level. I mean, we already had the little force feedback wheels. We already got the chairs that move. Now we got the headsets that come on. You're in the car. And because it's such a one-to-one movement, it really does. It can prepare you for a real vehicle in a lot of ways. So, yeah, that kind of simulation is being gamified for sure, but it's also important as well. So, yeah, I mean, we're moving into a different kind of future with VR and AR. It's going to be a different kind of world here pretty soon. I'm not sure exactly how soon because everything is still like kind of like inaccessible as far as like money. But when it comes, it's going to hit like a ton of bricks. Like, you ain't going to be able to move without having to like interface with some kind of graphical thing somewhere. Like, it's going to be wild. And yeah, that is pretty cool. I mean, I've never really followed the military side of it, but the simulation side of it, I have always been interested in because that's, you know, graphics and, you know, trying to.
That's a great point.
Yeah, trying to create that. Real
I mean, even if you look at the stuff. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I your podcast. Fuck, now I forgot I was going to cut him off, and I don't even remember what I was going to say. Okay, so yeah, the simulator thing, it's, yeah, I mean, like, if you think about it, the military's actually been using that simulation technology for a long time, like you said, with pilots. Like, they have giant, like, I've seen them in real life, like, they're these giant, like, I don't know, like, rooms, I guess, and they're on, like, these pivot things. You can see them on YouTube. No, this isn't, like, top secret information. This is just, like, and it's, like, there's just the guys got screens around them, and then they have all their controls. And you know, I've never been in one, but like, we even used simulators in Humvees. We were doing like for like convoy training. We did sims, and
right?
Yeah, we did the rolls. That's kind of like that didn't have any like video. I'm trying to think of like screen wise, but they have like ones
Oh,
where
okay.
like you're driving down some town. Yeah, so it's very interesting. The
It
the
is.
simulation technology. I think maybe it's at the point now where people are the technology is at the point where you can actually utilize it as a effectively as a
As a training tool for like one-on-one, like a person level, not a vehicle level. Now it's getting down to the person level where you can put some
correct.
goggles on and have this little fake gun. You can, like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
run around in that little ball or whatever the hell that they have, or it's not a ball, but it's like they have like that concave little stand that you stand on, and you have you're surrounded by the little railings, and you can kind of run in
oh
place,
yeah,
that type thing too, to where
I've seen
that's how
those.
you move.
Yeah,
Yes, I
man,
have
I've
seen that.
seen those. And they have the omnidirectional treadmills now too. I mean, it's getting there, man. It's getting crazy. We getting there.
Bro, what do you do? I'm just a gamer. He's just some
Just
jacked
some
bro.
buff dude.
I just game, man. That's all I do. Just fit as fuck. Do a real life slide cancels for real and shit. You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I think yeah, like a lot of those games come out, they're just fun. Like it's just like it's fun to like there's a game called Ground Branch out there that I've been nagging
Oh
Spec and a couple
yeah,
of our other
I
friends to
remember.
get. Nobody ever freaking got it. Because it's this team tactical game that like yeah, you can play it by yourself, but it really behooves you to play with a team, and it's like legit tactical. Like I keep saying the word tactical, but like you have to coordinate. I have to be able to communicate. I have to you can learn things like shoot, move, and communicate. You can learn things like even just how to like pie off a door. Really like basic. And of course, there's no substitution for the real thing, but it's like if you can learn these kind of like basic level skills in a game setting, just having fun with your friends, it's cool, and it's really cool to see where they're at.
In
Cool
my
to see that
defense,
people
Goose, my laptop could barely handle Pornhub, so I could only assume that I wouldn't be able to deal with whatever Ground Branch is going to be throwing
That's
at me.
fair.
So
That's fair. I also need a new computer. I need a new PC.
all right.
Yeah, we all got to upgrade.
All right. So
I guess
yeah,
it's
that's
my
my
story. I guess
Yes,
it's my
sir.
story now.
what you got?
Well, we already know what's coming up here, boys. I mean, we already know.
Uh-oh.
I mentioned
Politics.
What? No, I already told you I was tying
I'm sorry,
my
I was messing
game
with
to
you.
my story.
Yes, let's hear it.
I like it.
So the story is about Saints Row reboot flopping horribly and pissing
Oh,
everyone
no.
off. Yeah, that's the story.
That's
this
right.
time.
It did release.
Wait, are you serious? That just happened?
It did
It
flop.
did just happen. Yeah, and
I
Oh
don't
my
know
God.
why. I haven't been investigating it on that end, but I do from what I've heard so far. Like people are not pleased.
People are not happy at all. They totally fucked up the game completely. They didn't even care.
How so?
It's like they didn't even play the second or third game. Like the third game is a great game. It's
Yes,
fun.
it was.
The fourth game was even though it was a head scratcher. There was crazy shit going on.
Hey, the crazier the better for me.
Right.
Number 4 was one of my favorites. Oh,
That's
my
what I'm
God.
saying. It still had a place for people because it was like this is getting nuts, but people went with it, dude. It's like they didn't even care. Characters
Oh, man,
aside,
that's sad.
they just it just feels so dated and it just felt so bad. It looked so ugly. It was so buggy, and they ripped all the soul away from the Saints and they just gave us this dead open world. And yeah, I don't know what took them so long to even make it. Like that's a game someone can make in like a year. Like
Now, did the same people who put out because it was THQ and Volition were the ones that did the original Saints Row game.
Yeah.
So who did this one? Same people?
Same people, yeah.
Same people.
It
just completely disregarded their work.
Fucked it up. I don't know how you go from being a beloved franchise to saying, hey, let's reboot it, which is like great. We loved the earlier games, to actually fucking it up to the point where no one likes it. Like, how does this happen? I mean, and I don't like remakes. I don't like reboots. They're always remaking something that doesn't need to be remade. They just remastered the first Last of Us, which is like it looks identical. They remastered fucking what was it, Resident Evil 4, which is like Resident Evil 4 is it's a completely fine looking game. What are you doing?
They're gonna remaster Skyrim again at some point.
Oh
So
God, no! Like they're doing
you
too
know they
much.
are. You know they
They
are.
probably will at some point. I already know they're gonna fucking remaster it somewhere. But
I told you,
they
Skyrim and Elder Scrolls 6. They're gonna make it happen.
they took a beloved franchise that people were looking for, and people are begging them to remaster the second one. It's just like, just remake the second one. We loved
So
that
wait,
one.
was this a remake of the first one? Like they took
It's
the story of the first one and they kind
no,
of because I didn't
no,
follow any of the press for this.
no.
So
It is
you
a
were following it close.
reboot. It's a
Okay.
reboot. So there's new characters, new place, new saints, new everything, and they just didn't give any of the character. They didn't make any of the characters interesting. Like the customization is still there, so you can have these wacky looking characters in this world, but everything else is so cookie cutter, boring, and dry that people are like, why did you even do it? Why did you waste our time? Why did you waste your time? Why did you ruin this thing that we all loved? Like, and so I guess for my story, I really have a question. Is like for you guys and for the audience, what happens? What happened to gaming? How did we get to this point where,
Money.
dude, there's
Money.
no way. Stop. There's no way they could have thought that they were going to make money off of this. Okay, if you look at the state of the game and what it is and what they release, this is not something that a triple A studio or even a double A studio releases and thinks that they're going to fucking make money off of it. That ain't it. That ain't the answer. Like, it ain't money. Something's going on. This isn't about money anymore.
I
Do
feel
we
like
think-
everything. Oh, sorry, Goose.
Okay, yeah. But I was just gonna say, do we think that maybe they thought they were so confident and we could release whatever we want, and these people, because it's got the Saints Row title, I'm just saying, like, maybe like trying to tie the two ideas together. Maybe they're just like, people are gonna pay. It's called Saints Row. We're gonna make a quick buck off of it. Like, is that a possibility? I don't know the world at all, so is that maybe a possibility?
They would be so foolish. Because, I mean, you've seen what happens when bad games come out. People roast them alive. They just completely, like, tear them limb from limb and leave them bleeding. Like, there's no way you could think, like, well, we can get away with it. No, you can't. The scrutiny is so high. The expectations are so high. There's no way you could think, we can just rest on our laurels. We can just... That's not a responsible thought when you have shareholders. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's fair. I agree. And you make a good point. The gaming community is not exactly known for their, being nice about those kind of things.
Yeah, there's no way they're unforgiving. There's no way they would think they'll be all right with it, dude. Not when you release dog shit. So no, I can't say that it's just money anymore, because now we're at a point where it's getting insulting, like, to us as consumers and to their shareholders. It's like, do you not respect your own product enough to try to make money for the people who are backing you? Like, something's going on here. This is reaching a different kind of level at this point. And I mean, it's like, you got all this talent. You got people who are trying to get into the industry and trying to make good games and trying to do good things, and you release this. What's happening? Like, what do you think, Spec? I want to hear what you got to say about this, because you played Saints Row. You liked it.
Yeah, I 2, 3, the 4, and then the Get Out of Hell. I even tried that, the little expansion that came out for 4. Like, I had fun with all of them. You know, they were great games. They had a soul. You know, they finally were like, I'm not being GTA anymore, especially after 3. I felt like they were like, yep, no, we're definitely not GTA. We're our own creature, and I commend them for it. But I feel like now we see it with what's going on with the comic book industry, Disney. Marvel, you know, I already said complicated, but we see it there where they're just kind of doing like, all right, designed by numbers, and what do we like? Because it's like, I'm not to say strictly money, but there's no more artists in the industry anymore, because all the artists got the fucking soul squashed out of them, because you got to have the crunch, the deadlines, we could see the merits of your of what you're bringing to it, but is it gonna bring us $1 bajillion? You can't secure that, then you're fired. Or like, you know, I mean, they have the corporate. It's all corporatized. Art is dead.
Do you think there's no more artists in the industry, or that the artists aren't that the artists get squashed maybe at those bigger corporate things, but you got to look at like somewhere else to find them.
There's definitely out there. Because
Okay.
look at games like Absolver that came out, where they were a studio that came out and they were like, "Yo, like we're gonna put out this thing," and it was one of the best sort of indie style games that I've ever played.
Big
Okay,
shout
And
out
that
to
it's
out.
Slow
not,
Clap.
yeah, big shout out to Slow Clap. They put out
What's it called?
Sifu
Absolver.
after
I'm
that.
gonna write it down.
Yeah, Absolver. You got to build your own fighting style essentially. Like it was like they got to crap and they took the time where you could have like your little Myers square. I call it because of the sword. Learning sword, you have the Myers square, learning all the cuts and the defenses, and they kind of had like the same backup. Like, all right, what are you gonna throw from your front stance? Left hand out, front stance, right hand out, back stance. You know, and they had like you could build your move set. You could figure out how to bring it into the PvP environment. You know, they really did put a lot of effort into that. Not so much there wasn't much of a story, but the game itself was good. You know, the concept, the execution, it was phenomenal. And
And that was their first game.
that was their
That was
first
their
game.
first game. Yeah.
Their first one. Their Virgin Run was
They
a hit. You know,
Nice.
so
they watched or they borrowed $500,000 from some company in France, and they made their game. It took them a couple years to put it out there, but they did it, and they got a return of, I think it was at least 30 million on that game, or it was
Wow.
like 28 million or something like that. So a $500,000 investment, you turn around and make 30 mil. Like that's
Wow.
a great return.
but they were a small company that didn't have a lot of shareholders telling them what they didn't have a lot of oversight from CFOs, CEO. You know, they didn't have that. I feel like they were able to be more free with what they wanted to do, and they had the vision that wasn't stepped on and crunched and fucking twisted into some nightmare end result. So yeah, partially I'm gonna say money because it's the corporatization of gaming kind of really makes it harder for the people that want to go out there and be able to successfully produce the games that were able to be produced before. Look at the games we had
Bro,
before.
I'm just gonna push back on the money thing a little bit because, like I said, they have to know they can't make money if they release dog shit. Though that's the problem. It's like you know this isn't gonna sell anything. Just like no, this is fine. You know this is gonna piss people off.
Like I
How
said,
can you
designed by the numbers. They did it by the numbers. They didn't expect the backlash because they thought, well, the numbers, the metrics, we're gonna design this by the whole formula. The formula speaks success because look at what it's kind of like. How many times can we play the same fucking game over and over again? They did it with
That's true,
Assassin's Creed. You know, to a certain extent, they did it, or Ubisoft in general did it to the whole thing. Oh my God, big open world. What a shock. Have to go clear each region. What a shock. Oh, there's collectibles. What a shock. Like, but they designed by numbers. They designed by this is what our games have. This is the formula we've been using. Keep putting it out. Even if it pisses people off, we're going to come up with a roadmap. And the roadmap will hopefully be able to fix things. Like, you know what I mean? They're just lazy with it now.
So I don't know if it's that. It could be. I don't know this industry very well. But I'm thinking about just like basic cost benefit analysis. And yes, I've been in business school for 1 week, so I'm going to use these terms.
Go for it, bro.
So
this is actually a good. This is a good person to have then.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, again, I've been in for 1 week. I know nothing, but
more so than I. So,
but basic cost benefit analysis, right? So like, even if they knew we're going to put this game out and it's going to flop, and maybe not, it's going to flop, but like they're like, okay, we know it's not perfect. We know we're probably going to get some backlash. However, they do as businesses weigh these kind of things out. Like, okay, yeah, we're going to get some backlash, but are we going to make enough to kind of like say like, okay, we're going to get some backlash, but maybe it's worth it. Maybe they never plan on making another Saints Row game again.
So they think, how can they now?
But exactly. Like they don't have to. Maybe they made their chunk of money on this. They made their money back. They got their profits. They were like, all right,
halfway through development, they're like, all right, we're fucked. We might as well just go. We might as well just break even.
Well, no.
Right?
I mean, that it's a possibility, but also like, did they make money on this? Like, did they actually did they get out more than they invested? Because if they did, then they achieved their goal. Like, yeah, they may have not, like said, set themselves up for long-term success because now they're going to come out the next Saints Row and people aren't going to be thinking about Saints Row 2 and 3. They're going to be thinking about this last piece of crap that came out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so maybe they fucked themselves in the long run, but maybe this was a short-term play. I'm just saying there could be a million things. I don't know. I don't know the industry. You guys know more than I do. I'm just trying to think of like just as a general business philosophy.
No, you're right. There's a ton of reasons, and that is a possibility. They just wanted to get back whatever they put into it. The
It
sunk
may,
cost
yeah,
fallacy. I mean,
yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
could be.
He said he's at business school too. He knows
Well,
more than I did going in.
I'm trying to start my own business too, so
Yeah.
got to be up on these things. But yeah, that's my story. Saints Row.
Well, what do you think,
flopping.
Seti? What's
Uh,
your? Do you think that they had any idea going in? Do you think they were? You or like, did you see the signs? Because you were following it pretty close,
I
right? Did
was
you see the
following. I was
signs of this
excited.
fucking up?
I was gonna buy it. I was gonna game share it with you. I was gonna have us run around in there, doing whatever they do. And I was following it closely enough to be like, okay, this seems like it could be fun, but they didn't release enough information. They were trying to hide, I guess, the stink of the whole crap that they released.
They're just like, oh, it's going to be
we've
awesome.
also been
Trust
hit though
us.
with sleeper hits in the past as well, so we couldn't really, I guess,
True.
hold that to a metric of there's not a lot of press equally gonna suck, because there was
No,
other
but
like
the hype, dude. You know about the hype cycle, and Saints Row's a big franchise. There's
Right.
no way they would hide so much from us, I think. And I don't know. I was excited for it. I was excited just because of the old games, like Goose was saying. The older games is what I was thinking of. But now if they want to release another one, I'm going to be thinking of that bullshit.
bad
So,
taste in your mouth.
yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I really don't know. I can't say. I just know that they fucked up. Like that's the story. They fucked up.
Yeah, end of the day, that's what happened.
They done
Basically.
goofed.
Oh wow, yeah, it's really sad for me because I loved it, but guess we just got to move on from that now.
Yeah. You guys know the time more than I do because I've lagged out, but where are we looking? Because I'm an hour in. I assume we got about
No, we're
45
good.
minutes before. Okay.
Okay, about half an
Yeah,
hour.
it's-
left for the 2 hour mark.
Yeah, it says it's about an hour 30, and we lost probably about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, maybe.
Okay. So that'll work. Oh, this will be fun editing for sure. All right, so let's throw out the die
Good
for
time
our,
for you.
for our next one. Yeah, good practice.
Yeah.
All right, we got 18.
Oh god. Oh.
18.
Oh damn. We kind of went over this a little bit, but we can do it again. I'm fine with that. Number 18 is work or job related things.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
actually,
we could relate that to gaming. Or no, Goose, what do you got for this?
yeah. No, I was thinking like it's not necessarily gaming, but it's in the technology sphere, kind of game. So since getting out, I have a couple different jobs, kind of working part time while I'm going to school, and one of them is I'm a personal trainer, and I work for this company right now. I don't know if I should say their name on here, but they're good. I'm only gonna say positive things about them. It's called Classic Fit, and they're like basically this app that hosts. Well, they're not. They have an app, I should say. The company is a personal training company that works a lot through this app. And so basically, what the personal training company is if you want to, just like any other personal training company, if you want personal training, you contact them. They assign you a trainer, or you can pick your trainer, however you want to do it. So what I do is I go to people's houses or apartments or apartment gyms or wherever. The kind of the benefit of this company is that we come to you. So I go and I meet my clients. We have the training sessions. Long, convoluted story for way. We have this app that we use, and it's freaking amazing. I don't know. Like this app is like and I'm pretty heavily involved in the fitness game. This app is like game changer. It is. I basically what happens is, I'm your trainer, so I get put in your phone as your trainer. I have all your stats up. I have all your whatever. I have everything I want. I can take your height, weight, progress photos. We do measurements. We do everything. You can see that. I can see that. We go in. We do a workout. I program in the workout. I build the workouts in the app. I show you. I put them on your calendar. Hey, we're doing this workout this day. I show up. We do the workout. I put it in, and then I'm like, hey, we're not meeting tomorrow, but I want you to do this workout. So then they go in the app. They put their numbers in. And they can, once they do that enough, they can see their progression. They can see the progression of whatever they're trying to track. Height, weight. They're not height. I can't train people to get taller. But, the size of their biceps, whatever they're trying, a lot of dudes, that's what they want to track. And then they can see the progression of like, oh, hey, I used to only be able to do this with 20 pounds. Now I can do it with 30. And so, I don't know. I've just been like raving about this app because I started working for this company about like 2 months ago. And this app is fantastic. So there's my work and job related stuff.
Bro, sounds like it's gamifying fitness.
That's exactly, yes. That's why I wanted to bring it up. It's literally like you literally there's achievements in the app. I don't know if I can show you without
Oh,
showing somebody else's personal information, which I don't want
Swole
to do.
unlocked.
Actually, it's just you guys, so this isn't going
Swole
the
unlocked,
videos.
really?
Yeah. This isn't
That's funny.
since this video is not going to be broadcast. I'll just I'll pull up one of my and I'll just leave his name out of here even on the video. But you can see like these are sorry, it's hard to see. Let me turn the brightness down on my phone. But you can see like yeah, he's got like achievements there, and everything, and so everything is just in there. But yeah, it's definitely gamifying fitness in that literally like this achievement was there's goals. These are like the lists of achievements, the categories and whatnot. It's kind of a newer guy, so he doesn't have that much. But like longest run, 10 workouts completed, new max reps on this. It's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, I mean the gamification of a lot of things is coming, man. Like because it creates. I don't know if you've heard of this before, but there's this thing called flow.
And Fiore.
Flow.
Oh yeah.
Flow is something that they want people to hit everywhere now.
Yep.
They want you to hit it when you're working out. They want you to hit it when you're at work as well. So they're trying to create more opportunities for people to get into these flow states because that's when you're at your most productive, most creative. And that's one of the moment when time starts flying by and you don't even notice what you're doing and you're just you're just progressing. Like that's the flow state. So gaming has a way of bringing people into this flow state. So they're trying to understand gaming more and push it into other areas to try to get people to achieve this state because it's when people are most happiest and most productive and most creative. So yeah, gamifying things it's gonna keep happening everywhere. And
For sure.
Important. It's important.
That I've heard I think it was on the Lex Friedman podcast, he was talking about that for like coders. Actually, fun fact, Lex Friedman and he got his black belt at the jiu-jitsu gym that I train at.
Hey,
if you're a Lex Friedman fan, Balance Studios in Philadelphia. But he was talking about that, like he like shuts everything down, like when he's ready to code and just gets into that flow state and goes, I went for a run the other day, first run I've done in a long time, the first run of any distance I've done in a long time. And I'm not a huge runner, but that's what I like about running is you get that, that their brain just starts, like you said, time starts going by a little faster. You kind of forget what you're doing. You're just kind of in your own head, and it's interesting spot. I think, in running, they call it a runner's high, but it's the same thing.
Right. That's something they're trying to bring into the workplace now, which is a little scary. Like, I don't know how they I know it's a little weird, but they are trying to get people to achieve this state at work, which is like, I don't know how that's gonna work because people usually hate their fucking jobs. But good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Maybe it's a way to make people more productive or enjoy the workday more. I don't know, but
enjoying work more would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate that I have jobs that I enjoy right now, but obviously everybody's not in that case. If you can figure out a way to kind of gamify what people are doing, maybe more quote unquote mundane tasks, maybe it'll help.
Oh, it will definitely help. There's a lot of repetitive, mundane, and just hard work out there that could benefit from, I think, being more gamified.
I remember.
Spec, what do you got? You look like you got something to say.
I remember making a joke about this at work because I work in the human service field. I'm in somewhat medical. I'm kind of like a professional ass wiper, you'd call me. So
so horrible.
All right. So I take care of the developmentally disabled.
Need some of that flow state,
and a lot of these guys, they need help doing a lot of things, and especially because they're an older population. A lot of them are in adult diapers, and a lot of them are having accidents. So and that's reality. So I remember one day making a joke of showing off the people who were like, how many the over your head, like how many diapers did we change today? Like how you got that like number up there. How are we gonna get them numbers up? There's a rookie ass number, you know what I mean? But I'm just trying to feel, because like I said, there's a good and a bad to everything. Where like the gamification of some stuff is a great thing because it'll help people hit that flow. So it'll help people get track their progress, especially because they want to see the progress. And so it's so hard to when you're stuck in your own head, like I was, it's really hard to see the the growth that you made. So like having it physically, not physically, but having it like kind of in front of you to like, oh, look at where you actually come. Like you actually have the stats here, like a game, like your character progress. Like that's a really good way to keep people in it. But now I'm just thinking like how could it be used in a bad way, and how could, because like I said, like there's an invasion of privacy that could be coming into some sort of things. It
Oh
could be
yeah,
more,
that's true too.
yeah, it could be
But
more
they already
so
own your ass anyway when you're at work, so it's not like what privacy. You don't have any privacy at work. Like what are you talking about? They're
true,
tracking you up and
true.
down, left and right, every step you take in that place. They know what you're doing, where you are. They want to know how long you took a bathroom break. Okay, like they know everything.
That's why I
There's no
always go
privacy there.
when I get to work, because I'm gonna get paid for it. All right.
That's funny.
If I'm pooping, I'm pooping on the clock, baby. That's how that works. But
Oh my god, that's so funny.
well, yeah, no. So work related things for me, yeah, no. I would definitely see the merits of like it will classify, like it'll be easier to track, because we do have to have these progress reports for us like that are quarterly, like how dependability, knowledge of information, how you are with the guys, how you are, your attendance, like all that shit is tracked in some abstract fucking system. That so being able to kind of upgrade that system into a more like personalized, like okay, you can actually see where your stats are and see how you, it kind of put you up against the rest of the folks. Maybe not give them like a detail, but like maybe put you on like a bar graph type deal,
Right.
like where your progress is versus the highest working person in your fucking building,
I
and
mean,
that way you can.
they have these things, especially in fast food, where they're always checking your numbers. They want to see, but that's the bad way to do it, though.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we gotta get our times down. You need to hurry up. That's like hustling people, trying to fucking like sweat them.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. How can it be abused to the fact from the employer side? Like,
and
okay,
I
like
guess the way it's
we
doing
gotta
now,
see
'cause
this, yeah, you see how this is. We gotta get that thing here versus like a nice little competitive sort of thing. So yeah, so when it's for yourself, it's a great thing, but when it's used, I guess, against your coworkers and against like a system where they could definitely use it to run you into the ground, yeah, maybe
right,
not so much a good thing. So
that would be
and
that would
I
be
don't know.
balance.
Yeah, a balance. There is a balance that could be had here to where it could go. And but for my work, I guess, Javelin, I think that's where I'm at. I don't know. I can't really see a way to do it successfully, because I have a very analog type, old school. We're dinosaurs. We still use pen and paper for a lot of stuff. Every job that I've worked in my life, it's been like old school, like you sign in, sign out, like all that jazz. There's not really the punch a clock, see the graph with the metric. There wasn't really much of that. So like I'm just used to the archaic ways of life. I haven't, even when I was doing line cook shit, it was all just old school. Get the slips out, motherfucker. Like, doesn't matter. Like, shut up and get to work. Essentially, like that's really all that mattered to me growing up. What do you got to say?
That is a good point. I don't know. We already know I consider myself these days a full-time entrepreneur. I'm always reaching
It's
out.
an interesting way to say you're broke.
I mean, yes, I am broke.
I'm just
broke
with you.
No, it's true. I'm fucking broke and talentless, so that's where I'm at right now. And
But you got a mission.
I do have a mission. And,
yeah.
I'm going through a lot of motions trying to get people and collaborate and trying to get people around me to understand what I'm trying to do, so I can onboard people that are smarter than me. So that's kind of the job of the founder, is what I'm learning. You're a founder, so that means you need to go out and find the things that you need to make this successful. So, I found a programmer. I found a space where we can work. I found some money so we can fund this. So that's, yes, I am broke. You're right. But I'm hopefully going to find the things I need to get this done. And I'm learning a lot. I'm doing a lot, and it's been an interesting journey. I've never tried to strike out on my own and build something on my own before. You guys have started a business before, so I guess you might be more used to this journey. But for me, I'm just starting on this and trying to build something for myself. So it's very different, and yeah, trying to make a game. That's my job right now, is trying to make this game happen. So
that was very interesting what you said about being a founder.
Hmm.
That that I've never heard it put like that before, but that is dead on. Yeah, you're right. You're finding people, you're finding, product, you're finding the space, you're finding everything. That is
True.
so interesting. I've never heard that put that way before.
Hey,
That's a
man,
really good insight. That's a really good way to look at it.
I'm doing my homework, bro. I'm out here.
well,
I'm talking to these people.
yeah.
I'm speaking their language.
Yeah.
I'm all about fucking.
Well, there's a difference. We've all been broke. I mean, I'm not exactly swimming in it right now either, but like, it's kind of like the idea of like, you're putting in the sacrifice now of maybe some money so you can work towards something that you eventually are going to achieve that goal. You're putting in the work now. You're putting in the sacrifice to get to your goal. No goal worth having comes without sacrifice. So it's monetary sacrifice, sacrificing your time with your family. The list goes on. But yeah, you're broke a little bit right now, but you got a vision and you're actually working towards it. You're not just some broke motherfucker on the side of the street doing nothing. You got a vision. You want to build this game board thing, this gaming company, game board. Jesus Christ, I'm old. But you're trying to build this gaming company. You're doing a podcast. You're doing it. You're out there doing it. So I think there's a difference. Obviously, I made that joke about you being broke. It wasn't intended to be offensive or anything. It was when I say, if I tell people I'm an entrepreneur, it's just like, okay, cool, that's interesting. Like I don't know what you do, so you probably got nothing going on. And then people will say that, and then you'll be saying that, they'll be saying that for about 10 years, and then you're going to put in the work for like 10 years or however long it takes. And then one day people are going to be like, oh, dude, you're an overnight success. And you're just like, hey, motherfucker, I've been broke for 10 years. like
I don't think so, motherfucker.
Yeah. No, but that's how it goes. People, that just got overnight success. And it's just like, dude, I've been working at this forever. That's
yeah.
Sorry, went off on a little inspirational chant, but I think it's the truth.
It is.
Yeah, Seti, we talked might have been last night or a couple nights ago, where we're talking about imposter syndrome, and it's when you find yourself in these positions, and you're like, "Am I doing this? Can I do this?" And it's like, bro, like I had the same thoughts when I was starting off the podcast. Well, like you said, you know this story, but Goose hasn't heard it. But when I got the first episode out. It was like, I was showing it off to a couple of people. After you told me it was good, I was like, all right, cool. Now I can actually show it to the world, so people won't just laugh at my face. So, like, when I was telling my friends to, like,
I had known I had that much power.
Oh yeah, you fucked up. You fucked up majorly. But no, I was telling one of my coworkers about it, and I was just like, it's not much now, but it's just something out there. Just like, hey man, like it's one more podcast than everyone else in this fucking building's ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's a goddamn fact. All right, never looked at it like that. And also for Seti, like we just saying to you, and I'll tell it to the people now. It's like, yeah, like I don't see anyone else sitting in these fucking meetings, having these time slots with these fucking people, trying to track them down, I don't know the meetings that the people that you've been sitting across from that have the access to these funds that are just like, tell me more about this thing. Like that's you, man. You've been in the front lines the whole time. So like I that whole imposter, like the feeling is legitimate because it's a feeling that we all get. But like you gotta learn, like no, I am doing this because no one else is fucking doing this.
For sure.
Well, at least no one else that you or like that is doing this. At least
not this exact
chat
thing.
room.
I mean, people are all doing their own thing. They're all trying to make their own way. But yes, this thing specifically is, we all have our own thing. And so I'm working at this thing.
Yeah, and that it's just that comes back to like what you were saying about. I don't see anybody else here. I don't see anybody else doing this, so I'm just going to do it. I feel like I've had imposter syndrome with literally everything I've ever done in my entire life, and that is not an exaggeration. That like,
oh no,
when I was in undergrad, I felt like I was like I don't belong here. When I was even like as a barista, I'm like watching my friends that are much better baristas than me. That I'm like, oh my god, like what am I? They're going to find me out. Like I can't make this latte. Like whatever. And actually, Spec knows we have some friends that are like. Highly talented baristas. I mean, I'm talking.
Shout out Jitterbus.
Shout out to the Jitterbus. And AJ by proxy and Paul and Dan and like all those guys. They are cream of the crop. Like everybody will tell you, Paul is just one of the most talented baristas. And so I'm working with him, and I'm like, oh, geez, do I belong here? I get in the military, and I'm working with these bad motherfuckers who are going like kicking down terrorist doors, and I'm like, oh, cool. Like I'm like I don't belong here. Even in jiu-jitsu, I'm there and I teach a jiu-jitsu. I teach an intro to jiu-jitsu class. And I'm like, I can't believe these people are listening to me. Like that imposter syndrome is real. And I had like literally the guy who put me in that position is my friend, Steve, who's our gym manager. and the guy who okayed it is Phil Migler-Reese, who's one of the OG. He's a 6th-degree black belt under Helson Gracie. He's one of the OG East Coast. Him and his brother Ricardo, two of the nicest people you ever meet in your entire life, brought jiu-jitsu to the East Coast. So I'm like, I got an okay by them to teach the class. It doesn't get any more legit than that, and I'm still like, I'm standing up there, and I'm like, oh my god, like they're gonna figure me out. They're gonna figure out I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right. It is, but you know what? I think we have to take imposter syndrome and kind of turn it on its head and realize that it's not that you're an imposter. It's just you have to be open to learning in that moment as well. Like, I think that's what you're feeling is that two-way connection of I'm teaching, but I'm also learning at the same time. And it can be like an unstable place because it's not something that we're used to trying to give out information. You know, you spend so much of your life just people pounding lessons into your fucking head. And I think, you know, once you reach a place where you can actually give information and you actually feel like you have something to contribute, it can feel a little off-putting, a little bit like, I don't know, I don't want to steer this person wrong. Like, you know, it can come off as that sometimes, I think too. So yeah, I think we just got to get used to, you know, realizing that we've gotten some wisdom and it's time to impart it to people. You know, I think just got to get used to that feeling. And some people are really comfortable with it too. Like they don't care. Even that's the problem though, is because some people, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And they're totally fine just spewing bullshit. It's like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Like
that is a great point. And yeah, they're
imposters, they're proud. They're imposters and they're proud. Just like
that's a huge problem. But you know, when you're being sincere about it, I think there is that kind of like, okay, I gotta tread carefully here.
That's exactly. And you know, when I'm instructing, like I should say, like I'm very confident in what I'm instructing. Like I wouldn't be teaching somebody something that I wasn't 100% sure of. But even with that, you're still like in the back of your head, you're like, they shouldn't be listening to me. Like, what if I, you know, you kind of have that. Right. And then, so I don't know. It is interesting. You're right though. That's what you touched on. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Dunning-Kruger effect, but if your listeners aren't familiar with it, you should go look it up. And because there's this graph that I wouldn't be able to explain.
Is this how much podcast, knowledge you have versus how competent you are, or how competent you think you are versus how much knowledge you have, or something?
Yes, exactly. So basically, like people, it's like it's basically like the letter U, and it's like on the left side is or on the beginning of the graph, I think that's the left side, is like basically people who know nothing about something, and they know and they think they might know a decent amount about it, and then as the more you learn about something, the more you realize you don't know, until you come up that other side of the U, which is like, you know, that's where experts are found, and they actually know how much they don't know. And then you get to the cream of the crop, which very, very few people get there in any subject, where it's like they know that they know everything.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and it's like they have the false confidence at the beginning. It's like you think you know.
Yeah.
You don't know. Like
there's a lot of people stuck there. They think they know what they don't know, and then you only start learning what you don't know as you start gaining more knowledge. Sam Harris does a really good job of explaining this. So if anybody wants to learn more about it, look up Sam Harris talking about it.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
You know, me neither. But for some reason, whenever I say the Dunning-Kruger effect, I think he was the first person I saw put a graph up of it. So I was like, there we go.
Yeah, I felt like I was in that, man. I felt like I was one of those folks that I was in that beginner phase of life. Just I thought I knew what I knew, and that was it. And then just it's not. And I was again another conversation I had with City. It's like I'm literally rebuilding my life and my foundation of like what the hell is going on, because I was stuck in that fucking bad spot where I thought I knew this is how the world worked. This is that. Blah, blah. You know, it was just bad. Just I wasn't good at absorbing the right information, I guess, growing up, and I just got caught in my own way. But yeah, no, like I'm learning now. Like I'm coming out of it, and I'm willing to admit, like I don't know anything. Please educate me. Like it's okay, but I know at least. And Teddy was saying, like, because sometimes I'll get a little too hard on myself, and I feel like that's just the thing we all do. But I have to realize that, okay, like it's just because I don't know, it doesn't make me a bad person, because I'm willing to accept the fact that I'm willing to try to keep doing good regardless of the fact that I don't know much. You know what I mean? if I butchered whatever I
Good
was
place
saying
to be,
before,
man.
yeah, that's just more of it coming out. But yeah,
I'm
that's
telling you, that's a good place to be, bro. Don't sell yourself short. As long as you're trying to do good, I think that's a good place to start from. All right, man. This is really good. I like this. This is great.
It's
We're
been a very
moving right
inspirational
along
podcast,
here.
and contrary to how it started out, because that was wild.
yeah,
Oh,
rough start. But
Yeah.
hey, that's what would happen for the first guest we have on. Everything fucking blows up in the beginning, but then it all levels out real quick.
of course, man. That's the power of gamers versus the system. Is it's random, but we're all on the same page. Like we're all playing different games, but we got the same controllers in our hands. That's what I like about this. It's like we can all relate to each other. We can all figure it out. No matter how crazy it gets, no matter what the die throws at you, you can always bring it
Right?
back. That's what I love.
Dang, it's all a big life lesson hidden in there. You guys are
It
slick.
is!
You guys,
See?
no matter what the die throws at you,
Gotcha,
you gotta
bitch!
respond. Dang it! Now I'm more fulfilled in my life. You guys got me. You guys got...
See, man, that's great. That's what we want. That's what okay, I guess this is a time to. I guess we've all told our stories now. Now we're gonna try to tie it all together in the big idea. And yes,
we have been tying it together
right.
just so far, and yeah, we're trying
Yeah.
to improve each other because we're all playing the same game, folks. Like we really are. Like, so why not help each other out in the process of it? Like how we did with Rise, and how and what I did with Red Dead, and what Goose did with the military and jiu-jitsu. And I was like, we're taking what we know, and we're just trying to pass on what little we do know to someone that might need the help. You know what I mean? And that's the best we could do for right now. The influence that we have, this little 100 and something. Also, I should have congratulated us at the beginning of the podcast, but I'll drop it in here now. Like we got over 100 listens, so we're
nice.
So we're now in that little upper echelon of 100 listeners. So I'm happy.
Nice.
That's a
Congrats,
milestone,
that's awesome.
man.
It's our little milestone.
Yeah.
Which is
so
pretty cool.
And that's thanks to everyone that just maybe we touched you. And not in that way, but in a good way. Maybe we were able to.
We might touch some of you that way. Yet to be determined. We'll see how that goes. We'll see.
With money.
Oh, right.
Now you're gonna start bribing the listeners you were talking about at the beginning. So now that we have your attention.
Hey, I think it's more about just giving back to them. Because
I
I
really do want to prove to people that you don't got to be a greedy ass to be good, or to make it. You can make it by being a decent person. You know what I mean? By giving back to the people and be serious about it. So
what kind of okay? This is kind of going off on a tangent, but you mentioned at the beginning of the episode. I know we're kind of wrapping up here, but you wanted to give away like a gift card or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that's kind of like that's the goal, to be able to give away, give back, like you said.
Give back, definitely. I mean, look, people are giving us their time. They're giving us their attention, and it would be great if we could give them something in return. Not just these little kind of nuggets of inspiration and wisdom or whatever we got to share with you from our lives, but also to just, pay it forward, and not just this way of us sharing ourselves, but, paying it forward to other people that might need it, as far as just a gift, just a fun gift. Like, hey, buy a cheeseburger.
This is a small scale operation, so it's like we're gonna start off small, folks. So just a little gift card for right now, and then once if we happen to get big, the Patreon blows up, and we start, and we could do this full time, essentially, then hell yeah, folks, and the giveaways just get bigger and bigger. So it's just the bigger we get, the more you're gonna get back, folks, and that's the beauty of this whole thing that we're gonna try to do.
You guys ever hear of a podcast called Are You Garbage?
No. I have not heard of this.
You guys should listen to it. They're basically like the comedy equivalent of YouTube. It's actually kind of striking. Some of the things you guys say, I'm just like, are you guys ripping them off? Oh, no, they're really funny podcasts, you guys. And they were up until very recently a really small podcast, but they hit some big guests on and really hit it. They talk about the Patreon a lot. They talk about the subscribers. They're always psyched on how many subscribers they have. Really, really good podcast. I don't mean to plug I have no investment in this podcast. It's just a really good podcast, and the guys seem really cool.
There's a lot of good. There's a lot of good shows out there.
On this.
Yeah,
for real, dude.
And that's the thing. There's a lot of them, so we gotta.
There are a lot.
This is also a competition at the same time. Like we gotta. listen to them, great, but also listen to us at some point along the way, and we're gonna hopefully be the
Well,
ones that
yeah,
reward you for it.
I wasn't saying,
You know what I mean?
you like these guys, you'll love these guys.
Oh, no, but like I said, we want to bring everyone up. So hell yeah, like listen to them
Yeah.
too. Like you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
not a problem.
There's
But
enough
if
to
you're
go
gonna
around.
But if you're
There's
gonna
enough to
listen to
go
us,
around.
then we're gonna give you something back for it.
Yeah. That's great. That's awesome.
That's the hope.
That is the hope.
Well, thanks for having me. This has been
Yeah,
been a lot of
man.
fun.
This has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate you coming on, and yeah, dude, maybe we'll do it again sometime. Cause
Yeah,
hope
I
so.
love that.
this is great.
Yeah,
All right,
I'll tag.
gang.
All right, so now let's do some, I guess, housekeeping to where it's like, all right, so this is follow us on the socials. We got Sachi pumping out them videos soon. We got you got to start emailing us some of your ideas and just maybe you want to roast us, maybe you want to send us some nice suggestions for the D20, maybe you want to just build the engagement. That's how you're gonna get your chance to win our $10 PlayStation or Xbox card, whatever the hell it's gonna be first. You know what I mean? So just hit us up.
Yeah, and it's coming
share us
up on
around.
next week, so that means that you have all week to subscribe to Twitter, email us at gvs.cast@gmail.com. Let us know that you're there. We'll put you in. And next week on the show, we will be announcing a winner of that card. So get it in there, guys.
Yeah, you'll have to listen. And also, if you made it this far, you don't have to listen to these episodes in order. But but for this part though, when you tune in here, now it's really you got to start, I guess. Like before, it was kind of just what do you ever want to do, but now it's like okay, listen to kind of so you know where you are in the whole grand scheme of things. But if you're not doing any of that, you just want to listen, just bounce around, be happy, be free, do what you want. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna be subscribing and you're gonna be following in with the giveaways, then you're gonna have to do a little bit of that. So kind of thank you and sorry for that part.
Thank you and sorry. Oh wow. All right, gang. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on Gamers versus the System. Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we love you guys. Have a good one.
Spec. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
I just waved.
I love you.